everyone. Happy Thursday. It is indeed Thursday. I'm so excited about this. I'm excited that you're here. Oh, maybe you can't hear me. Let's bring that in here. Oh, maybe you can't see me. Let's give that a little zoomy zoom. Let's give it 1 second. There we go. There we go. That looks a little better. Hello. How are you? Happy Thursday. It is Triple T Thursday, which stands for Tips, Tricks, Tutorials. And we do all the things on Thursdays, and we talk about so many things. And today we are going to be talking about creator burnout and dealing with overwhelm, which I don't know if you guys have seen the movie 10 Things I Hate About You. Gabrielle Union, right? She's in there and she's like, is it possible to just be whelmed, right? You can be underwhelmed or overwhelmed. Can you just be whelmed? And actually, yes, yes, you can just be whelmed. So FYI, there's your little trivia around whatever you want to call it. Dictionary, wording, wordsmithing of the day. There you go. Kombucha, Dutch Can Jam. Hello, good evening. Happy Thursday. We have to play the ever fun game now that we've learned a little something about vocabulary. We have to play What's in Your Cup? I mean, don't we? Of course we do. So we're going to have to do this here. And let me get my windows in order. Bum, 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 bum. What's in your cup, people? Let me know. I'm super excited. I'll tell you what's in my cup. Let's see here. Get my windows and my life in order. Why is it doing that? I don't know. All right. So today we have Berryessa Gap Tempranillo. There you go. So this came from the Gary V Wine of the Month Club. So that's what we are drinking today. So to you out there, chin chin, tell me what's in your cup. Let me know. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's a little dry. Okay. So creator overwhelm and actually dealing with burnout. Now, orange creamsicle cider. That sounds delicious. Green tea. Awesome. Okay. So some of the largest creators on this platform have said they suffered from burnout. Some of them take a break. Some of them go quiet for a while. Some of them come out with crying videos where they tell people that they're taking a break and because they're burnt out. Some people just make really crappy videos because they have to, because they're basically thinking that they are beholden to the algorithm, and then just come back later 6 months down the road and tell us, oh, I'm so burnt out and I wasn't proud of any of that content. Does this ring a bell with anyone? Have you ever seen this? Yes, I think you have. Okay, so one of the problems that it comes to YouTube is there is no off button, right? You can put as many hours, seconds, minutes into YouTube as you want. There's no one usually being like, hey, Shelly, think you've had enough responding to comments today, or think you've looked at your analytics a little too long, or you know, whatever it is. There's always going to be a video to evaluate. There's always going to be some analytic to look at. There's always going to be something about, you know, oh, what could I do to make my channel better? Or what should I have responded with? Or what's in my list of video ideas? And oh, when is this video going out? And oh, can I even eat my food at a restaurant without taking a photo of it? Right? There's all of that because there's no one really there to just be like, could you just put the phone down or something? Like, could you just not do all of this garbage that you're doing, basically? And the truth is, if you think about it, when you have a normal job, quote unquote, a lot of the people who are working a 9 to 5, right, as soon as 5 o'clock rolls around, they're able to punch out and be like, I'm not thinking about this job until the next day I have to come back. Sometimes they're not taking that job home with them. Some people are. That's a whole other thing. But with YouTube, there's no like office hours. There's no real on time. It's just however many hours you want to devote to it. So you see a lot of people go in and go gung-ho for quite a bit of time, and then all of a sudden it's just this content machine. How much can I pump out? How much can I keep doing? How much can I just over and over and over again, until one day they're like, I can't do this. I can't keep up with this. And I'm like, well, whose fault is that? Did you put these self-imposed regulations on yourself? Did you promise people that you were going to do this? Is someone in your audience putting, you know, threats out there that if you don't put out another video in a certain amount of time that they're going to hurt you or your family? Which, by the way, can we talk about? I just read a headline today, which was crazy. Lady Gaga's dog walker got shot while walking her dogs. Her dogs were kidnapped, 2 out of the 3 of them. One of them ran away and then was recovered later, and I haven't read anything, but she's offering like $500,000 no questions asked for returning the dogs. And I'm just like, what kind of world are we living in where we need to track down people's dogs, you know, famous celebrities' dogs? I read that and I was just like, wow, that's just crazy. That's absolutely nuts. So I gotta read more about that, but I think it's crazy. Okay. So let's just make sure. Oh, hello, Pixel Pia. Let me see here. What's going on? 1 second. I can't see the chat. 1 second here. It says remover me. Why would I remover you, teen bosses? I don't know. Anyways, Pixel Pia, no apologies for being late. There's none of that. Yeah, who is out here kidnapping dogs? What the heck? What is wrong with people, right? Who raised these people? Who raised these people to think that that was okay? Oh, no, not cool at all. All right, so, right, some of the largest creators on this platform have all said they suffer from burnout, okay? So this is going to be like Alicia Marie, this is Lord DIY, this is, you know, just tons of people who said they have to step back and be like, I can't do this. Ooh, we have our first super chat. Ooh. You're in the middle of burnout right now. I party hard on the weekend. That helps a lot. So no working on the weekend. See, and this is good. One, Dan, how are you? You're setting boundaries for yourself, time boxing, which is what I said, like, people don't have anyone to sometimes time box them when it comes to activities on YouTube, especially if you are a full-time creator. But hold on, we got to play our song. And get down for the super chat in gratitude. Thank you so much for your super chat. I am really, really glad that you are prioritizing your own mental health and you are finding ways to deal with burnout, because God knows it is a real thing and people don't want to talk about it. It's one of those kind of invisible weird things. And if you are in the middle of saying like, hey, I have burnout, I can't deal, this is too stressful. A lot of people, if you're online, in the online space, kind of have this like, you just make silly videos and put them on the internet. That's not even real work. That's not hard work. That's not even a real job. And I'm like, try it. Okay? Try it. So, one, I am so glad that you are prioritizing yourself and that you're able to recognize that, like, hey, I have to have some healthy boundaries, and this is, I'm not working on the weekends. So good for you. I'm very, very proud of you because it's a real thing. And so, you know, Alicia Marie, Laura DIY, I think one of the reasons for their own burnout was the fact that they had a certain type of style of content that they had grown up with and they had kept doing, and after a while it was like a caricature of themselves and not really their true authentic selves. So it's kind of like going and being an actor for the hours that are devoted to this thing, you know, this set of hours when you're making videos and content and all of that kind of stuff. It's just not the same as feeling like you get to be your true authentic self, which starts to feel a little bit draining and not liberating, which is one of the reasons why you get on YouTube, is because you want to connect with people maybe more like yourself or people who like you for yourself. And so it's one thing to then be created as this entire character and then be like, oh, I can't be myself because people only know me as this. And if I do this, am I going to be alienating a huge chunk of my audience, right? Hey, we have another super chat. Okay, we're going to do our dance bubbles. Thank you to Technically Speaking, which is my friend Scott Peachy. Hey, how are you? How you doing? I know that you do I was telling someone about you the other day about the creator burnout mental health discussion that you're having on Clubhouse, which is awesome. So kudos to you for also doing that. One, we're going to dance. Two, if you're out there and you want to pop on, send me a message or whatever, and I will send you a link. We can do that. We can totally talk about your Clubhouse room, and you can tell people if you're still doing that, when and where to show up, all that good details. But first, we have to boogie. So we have to find a song. We got to play a song. Itty Bitty Steps. Ooh, one bop, two bop. Oh, I think that one's like not a very good song. Okay, Slow Mo Chase, Regimental Soulfly, Sumo. We're gonna go with 56, Electronic. This could be a good one, people. We don't know. Oh, it's not a good one. We'll go with 15. Is this a ballad? Okay. Here we go. Let's dance it out, y'all. Do you like that? My own percussion. You're laying in bed. You are Eastern time. Yeah, I know. All right. Thank you for your super chat, Scott. I appreciate you. That was really, really awesome. Put your details if you're still doing that clubhouse room, all that good stuff. Okay, sorry. I just got caught up there for a moment. Okay. We've talked about there's no off button. You feel, some people may feel that they're kind of just like stuck in this bubble. Like, dude, I can't be like a woman. I can't talk about lady things, or I can't be talking about grown-up things if my audience is mainly comprised of 13-year-olds who are doing their first, like, I'm going back to school type tutorial. You know what I mean? So all of a sudden it's just like, oh, there's this gap between where my audience is, or where they see me, and where I like want to be and where I want to talk. So you see this with like Lord DIY, where she even came out and said, I had burnout, it was real, I needed to step away, and then I wanted to come back, and now she can do things that are a little bit more age appropriate. So she has a podcast with her now boyfriend. You know, they say some cursey words on there. Good for them. They, you know, they talk about more grown-up things now. She's done a few of those challenges, which are like drink with me or get drunk with me type challenges. And this is not the same type of content she would have been making a year or two ago. You know, every once in a while she throws an F-bomb down on her channel. This is the thing of being able to kind of like age up with your audience. And I know that she said for a very long time she was afraid of being able to make content anything similar to that, because she knew that so much of her audience was going to just be like, this is too old for me or whatever. But what she found, and what Alicia Marie found, because they're both kind of in the same boat, is that a lot of their audience came back and said, hey, we stopped watching you for the last few years because like you were pretending to be a kid and running around going to high school, and you're like 26 or whatever it is. And I can't get down with a back to high school tutorial anymore because that's not where I am in my life. So I think it's actually working for them, and they're finding in tune with an audience that's a little bit more in style with what they want. And so now they're refreshed and invigorated. So those are two very apparent examples who were held hostage almost by their own image that they had created that made them successful, trying to break out from that. Okay, so should we say hello to the chat? Technically speaking, Kiki Williams, that Mama Keys, Adrian Rose, hello. And if you see, there are a few people who have their name in green. They can use cool emojis in all of the live streams that I do, which I go live twice a week, if you didn't know that. And if you like live streams and you like that, you can totally like and subscribe. Hopefully sometimes you'll get notified when they go out. But every Tuesday we go live with my friend, technically speaking, over there, Scott Peachy. And we talk about random Amazon products and ask each other the question of, would you buy that? Which is just fun. So we're going to talk about that. One of the ways to help get over burnout is sometimes to collab with your friends and do something that is outside of your wheelhouse and is just for you, for fun. So there's one spoiler alert right there. And then I also go live on Thursdays, which you're here, so you know that. And then there's a video every Sunday as well. So if you guys did not know, I am currently live Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Periscope, Twitch, and I am able to do that by using Restream, who is a channel sponsor. If you guys want to give it a shot, you can save $10 off a month there. You can also get started for free. And thank you to Restream for continuing to sponsor and work with my channel. Spoiler alert, if you went to shelly.fyi, you'd probably find a coupon code that was worth $50 for a 1 month version of their pro level version, if you wanted better than the $10 deal that's flashing down here on this. I should also mention on shelly.fyi, you guys, today it has felt like the longest day. I did my first presentation at PodFest. So I did one on Tuesday. I did one this morning at 7 a.m. my time. And then I ended up, doing my work, my normal job. And then I actually was invited to come back to do like another round table thing at PodFest. So I was back at PodFest around 2-ish. And then I was just in the Clubhouse panel and doing the Thursday Women of YouTube kind of live stream. And then now I'm here. So it has just been a long ass day. I'll tell you that right now. But Thursdays are still my favorite day. Still my favorite day, but it's a long ass day. I'll tell you that. All right. Oh, the reason I bring this up also is because if you wanted a free ticket to PodFest, which is going on through this week and through next week, you can get a $50 level version ticket for free if you go to shelly.fyi. There's a coupon code and a link to go buy a ticket. It's not an affiliate link. It's just a free ticket for you. All right. So no off button. See, you guys know me. I've got my trusty Post-its. You weren't, yeah, I had to get up early this morning. I'm usually not up at 7 a.m., so I really had to get up early. I was up at 6, and then I may have snoozed a little, and then I may have debated and played the game of, can I zhuzh my hair up enough to make it look good enough for a 7 a.m. presentation, or do I actually have to take a shower? You know, the game that we play and tell ourselves. So, okay. So, when you are feeling that you are locked in and you're tired of doing one thing, you got a few things that you can do, right? One, if you're feeling absolutely stuck within your channel and you're like, oh, you're not ready to make the leap yet, you may find that either opening a new channel, having a new social media account on some other platform, especially something like TikTok or, you know, something as this like short form content, a shorts channel, something like that, just having a creative outlet to sometimes be able to put stuff that has nothing to do with your main channel might be something that is a little bit more liberating for you to be like, oh, thank God, someplace I can put this content. And even that feeling alone can actually just make you feel better. Okay. So it may behoove you to actually have that. So some people may think I'm crazy that I have 5, 6, 7, 8 YouTube channels, and you know, maybe I am crazy. And actually, I don't advise going out and just opening 8 channels right away. But I'm saying that a lot of the time I want to play my guitar and have a musical live stream, and I'm not going to do that on this channel, but I would do it over on my musical channel. Or I want to do a vertical video tutorial, but I'm not going to maybe do that on this channel. I'm going to be able to do it on my beauty channel, or no, you know what I'm saying, my vertical video channel. Or I still get subscription boxes every month from Ipsy and from BoxyCharm. I'm not going to put that on this video, on this channel, but I am going to put it on my beauty channel. And so even though I can make lots of different types of content, then I don't have to feel stuck and feeling like the only thing I can make is one type of thing, talking about like iMovie and editing. And that freedom alone definitely gives me a little bit of like feel goods in the moment, because I can be like, I'm feeling creative and I want to do a get ready with me. I'm going to go live on the beauty channel or whatever it is. And just that alone can actually make me feel better. So that might be something right there. Now, another thing that a lot of people can do, they have to get away from the computer. It's a weird thing where the more time you spend on devices, the more time you spend on the computer screen, sometimes the less happy that you are. And sometimes you get a little bit more angry or jaded than you normally would. You snap back at someone you would normally just block or delete or let that comment slide by. And then all of a sudden it's a shitstorm, hell in a handbasket, because you snap back at some person and it's going to start this online war. Been there. Okay. So you want to be like cognizant of the fact that sometimes if you ever remember like the Lord of the Ring and the Ring of Sauron, where at first it's amazing and great. If you put on the ring, you become like invisible. You have all these magical powers. It gives you this feeling of like awesomeness. And then you're like, oh wait, this thing is actually drawing power away from me. It's actually making me moody. It's making me irritable. It's actually making me snap at people. It's actually kind of like really not good. And the heavier it feels, the longer you wear it, which is like, you gotta take the ring off sometimes, which is you have to stop obsessing or being face to pixel. Now, whether that's a phone, whether that's a computer, whether it's an iPad, doesn't really matter. But I'm telling you that sometimes you just gotta stop. You gotta like shut it down, go outside for a walk, okay? And not for nothing, but a lot of people actually in the wintertime, because the days are shorter and the nights are darker. I was about to break into song there. They actually don't know it, but they're affected by the darkness and seasonal affective disorder. It's a real thing. So some people out there have these UV light therapy like lamps. It's basically like a little sun lamp, and you sit in front of it for 20 minutes or at a time, and you just feel better because there's a certain thing from vitamin D, you know, coming from the sun, or a certain type of rays of light where it actually can affect your mood. And so some people, they know that in the winter when it's dark at, you know, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it doesn't make them feel good, right? So it may behoove you to, when you find yourself becoming grumpy or irritable or snapping at a partner or anything like that, you may need to be like, how much of this would I be doing if I wasn't thigh deep in hate comments right now, right? And we're going to talk about that too. So it may be that you really got to like step away from the machine, take the ring off. And it's okay to be done for the night in certain circumstances, because you don't have to keep giving negative energy to things that drain you, okay? So think about that it's okay to get away from the computer, because, like I said, there's no one giving you that off button, being like, time to clock out. Stop looking at those comments. And you really do have to like almost self-regulate that for yourself and be like, hey, if I'm feeling like way out of whack and like not happy right now, maybe it's because I've spent too long here. So let's talk about hate comments for just a little bit and how we can deal with some of that. Number one, you can totally go into your online settings and create your own beautiful library of words that are kind of like blocked from your channel. So if you happen to be someone who might be a little heavier than they might like to be, I'm not saying that just heavy, I'm saying it's something you're self-conscious of, because you can rock whatever weight you're at, but I'm saying if it's something that you personally feel not great about, you might go into your library and put certain words, you know, that you might be afraid that you could be called, names, that kind of thing, as almost like a preemptive strike. So anyone who says any of these types of things, phrases, whatever, it's held for a review or in some place where you don't have to look at it, because that kind of thing is damaging to your mental health. Okay, the more you see it, the more you wallow in it. And you know what I'm saying? Now, this could be anything from, I think my nose is too big, to I don't like that, you know, people make fun of me because I have silver gray hair instead of just being all one color, or people make fun of me because I have too many wrinkles, or people make fun of me because I'm overweight, or because I'm Asian, or because I'm a woman, or because I'm talking about whatever subject matter that they think they're an expert in. You know what I'm saying? Any one of those things, it is absolutely your right. I cannot reiterate enough and stress enough. It is absolutely your right to protect your own mental health when it comes to comments, phrases, disparaging things that mess with your self-esteem, that mess with your mindset, that mess with your mental health. So if you need to be someone that proactively goes in and just like says, I don't want to see any of these words, great. If people want to say that you are censoring them and their comments, yeah, you have the right to do that. It's your corner of the internet. You can do as you please. You have no absolutely right to, I mean, freedom of speech is something, and you can come to someone's channel and say whatever you want. It does not mean you are like immune from any repercussions or from accountability. And if you happen to be, basically, I treat YouTube channel as my house. And if I know that it's disrespectful, you come into my house and you're wearing your shoes or you're doing all these different things that I don't like, it's perfectly fine for me to be like, I don't want you in my house. Like, I don't think that's rude at all. You're not paying my rent. You're not, you know, staying here as a guest. I invited you into my house and you came in and you decided to, you know, take a baseball bat to the windows. I don't need to keep inviting you to my house. In fact, I can be like, you gotta go. You can't come to my house anymore. Okay? So one thing that you could also do is, sorry, I have to cough. Or not. Okay, sorry. One thing that you could do is, if you're worried about this, you could write down all of the negative things just once. Give yourself your own little pity party. Say all the things that you want to about yourself. And then, here's the kicker. You have to come up with a counterpoint to all those things. You're like, girl, no one's going to pay for your iMovie editing course, which, by the way, I have an iMovie editing course. If you want to learn how to edit this year, you can certainly do so. Go to iMovieMadeEasy.com. Anyways, you can write down all the things that you're afraid, basically, that people are going to say about you. And preemptively, you can be like, hey, Shelly, people pay for courses all the time. People are paying in exchange for time. People don't mind paying from learning from one particular person because of like a learning style. I have experience in seeing online that people are actually charging $129 for the same type of course with less stuff. You're way more qualified. You've been on YouTube far longer. You have more video views. And it's not that it's a competition, but you're certainly well qualified and within your rights to charge a price. And anyone who feels that your course is worth the $99 that you're charging for it will choose to buy it. Right? So once you kind of come up with these counter arguments for yourself, you kind of want to start thinking about, if this is what people are going to say about me, because I'll tell you something right now, no one is more mean to you than you. Okay? So most of the time, all the worst things that we think that people are going to say to us, people don't usually say them. It's usually us saying it to ourselves. So it's really like being able to confront your own inner battle with logic and with like grace, and being like, I can see where you would think this. I can accept that you might believe this. Let me try to show you why this is incorrect. Okay? So the next time someone else is saying it to you, you're going to be like, you don't know. You don't know me. You don't know my experience level. You don't know how many hours I've spent making this course. You don't know any of these things. So if you're not in a position to buy my course because you don't see value, then I don't have to convince you, right? That's not my job to convince you or argue with you about that. I'm here for the people who actually do believe that the value is there and they maybe have a question or they need something to help them along to make their decision. That's where you focus your energy. You know what I mean? Not the people who are just cackling the loudest at you. So you also have to be very careful sometimes who you are taking advice from, right? And we were talking about this earlier in Clubhouse tonight and saying like, oh, my family and friends don't support me on my YouTube channel. And actually what's funny about that is I didn't tell my friends or family that I had a YouTube channel for a very long time because bless their hearts, which is a Jessica way, in the Southern way of being like, go F yourself. Bless your heart. You don't know my story. And most of the time, and this is pretty much exactly what I said, most of the time, your friends and family, they're going to say, I'm protecting you. I'm protecting you from, yourself and from the disappointment. And I'm trying to be Southern. I can't do it. I can't pull it off. I'm just trying to save you from yourself. But the problem is, it's not actually them actually being afraid that you're not going to, succeed. It's them being afraid that you are going to succeed. And then they're going to have to explain to themselves, and it just comes out in jealousy, in snide remarks, in cattiness about basically why you were able to go and do something with your life, with your time, with your energy, and put it towards something that was for the betterment of either yourself, your channel, your family, your finances, whatever it is. And it makes them uncomfortable because at some point they'll have to examine where the true root of their jealousy / cattiness is coming from. And it's usually just straight jealousy and the want that they're actually kind of stuck in a life that doesn't make them happy and fulfilled. Because I'll tell you something, happy people don't murder their husbands, right? Just like Elle Woods said in Legally Blonde. The happy people, they're not going around cutting other people down. We don't have time. I don't have time to go to Jessica's channel and shit all over her for something that she said, or start running my mouth and saying that her digital planner or her courses aren't worth it. I don't have time for that shit. I just don't. And so the truth is, it's not usually the happy people that are making those comments. It's the people that are hurt, broken, jealous, right? And envious that they haven't done it yet. And oh, good shake. Every time he shakes, it's like a little tambourine. Oh, that was so good. That's Cooper. That's the big one. And I think you guys all know, we talked about last week, baby Casey has gotten her first dog collar. And then mommy cut it way too short. And so baby Casey got her second and third dog collar. Now that I know her next size, she's got herself 2 collars. We've got a pink glittery one, and we've got a pink glittery one, because Casey has a type, okay? So just like crabs in the bucket, you know, they don't want people climbing too far out of the bucket without them. Like, it's not like, no, take me with you. It's like, no, I'm gonna pull you down back into this bucket with me of crap, where we're all gonna die together. That doesn't sound good, but you know what I'm saying. So if you think about it, anyone who has the guts to just be like, no, I'm getting the hell out of this bucket, you're gonna have a ton of people trying to be like, I don't think so. And then it comes out, I'm just trying to protect you, girl. I'm just trying to save you from yourself. I'm just trying to tell you that, like, 95% of all the people who do this, like, that's great, Susan. What does that have to do with me? Okay. Unless, you know, you're about to go, like, headfirst into some MLM thing, and then their concern could be a little bit more warranted, because most of the time, 99% of the time, those people lose money. Okay, so we'll say that. So unless it's that, most of the time, I think that your friends and family usually end up being harsher on you than random people on the internet. And that one hurts the most, because you care about what they have to say, but you have to realize that they neither define you nor need to give you permission for you to be able to step into your own light. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless they're paying your bills, unless you're like, okay, Susan, you don't think I should be doing this? Then I think you should find a way to, you know, to pay my bills. And then all of a sudden, Susan's real quiet. And you're like, okay, go on with your day, because I'm going to go on with mine. And that's no offense to any Susans out there. I know a couple of Susans. They're very nice people, okay? It's a name that came to mind, okay? So a few things that you can do when you are feeling like you're a little bit burnt out, like you're just a little bit like at the end of your rope. And you got to really examine why it is that you're feeling like this. Is it because, you know, seasonal affective disorder? Is it because you've got your nose too far into a screen for way too long? Is it, and I'm just talking for a minute, just a minute, let me for a minute with the ladies, is it because it's a certain time of the month? And I don't mean that as an insult, okay? Get off your high horses about this one. There's actually a book. I have linked it in the description box. It is called In the Flow. And the reason why I mention that is because there are scientific studies that show that during certain phases of your monthly flow, anyone who happens to have that phenomenon happen to them every 28 days or whatever it is, there are scientifically proven times where your mood is increased, or maybe you're more irritable, or if you start to kind of track or study any of that stuff, there are certain times when your brain is ready to accept more life-changing decisions with longer-term effects. And so some people who know this, they actually end up making harder decisions about their life during certain times of the month. So there is a joke inside of the beauty community where Anastasia Beverly Hills didn't want to do a particular brand deal because of some cosmic aligning. And so that's a little extreme, but I'm saying the same principle kind of applies. And that is, if you want to check the description box of this video, I linked the book. It's called In the Flow. And so during some of those phases, like the follicular stage, where you're feeling like a little bit sussy, a little bit sexy, a little bit like adventurous or something like that, there are sometimes when you feel like you're most confident, those are when you make certain decisions and you're sure of yourself. And then there are times when you're just like, I don't want to talk to anyone, I don't want to see anyone. And those are the times when you do office work and you don't try to interface with a lot of people and you reduce. It's about optimizing for what your known strengths are. And this also then, if you're not someone who subscribes to the female thing, you can also subscribe to the sleep cycle thing. And there's other studies that are going to show certain types of, they call them animal profiles. So it could be a bear, it could be, like hibernates during the night, and like, these people, and the early birds, and they call them the wolf or something like that. So it's someone who gets up super early. I am not an early riser. I will stay up till 3 in the morning, but I hate getting up at like 5 or 6 a.m. There are some people who love getting up at 5 a.m. every day, jump out of, like, yeah, let's go work out, let's do all the things, let's have our pre-workout, and then by like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they're spent, and they're like, no more brain function, I can't have meetings. And so some people understand this and know, I don't schedule meetings in the afternoons when my brain capacity and I have a certain amount of decisions I can make per day. I'm not making more decisions after 3 p.m. You know, some people subscribe to the spoon theory where it's like, I have so many spoons where interacting with someone takes a certain spoon and, you know, I only have so many in a day. And by that time I am then exhausted and I need to go away and actually kind of like charge up again. So there are lots of these different types of theories out there, whether you think it's, you know, body cyclical, whether it's moon cyclical, like Anastasia Beverly Hills, monthly flow cyclical. You could actually find one of these that may resonate with you if you were to look around, and if you were to just embrace the type of, I don't want to say flow, but you know what I mean, embrace the type of, you're literally watching me brain search while I swim in through the air. Just take that into advice. You guys know what I'm saying, right? Guys and gals. All right. So I'm also saying, not only you have to be careful who you take advice from, because remember, not everyone has your best intentions at heart. They just don't, okay? And once you realize that, it might be a little bit easier to spot that. They're saying that because they're jealous. They're saying that because they've never left their town the first time when you say, hey, I'm thinking of going to college out of state, whatever it is. And you're like, you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. Like, you go to LA, you're gonna get killed. You know, all of that stuff. And they're saying, I'm just trying to protect you. And I'm like, no, Susie. That's a different name, at least. No, Susie. It's because you're afraid and you don't want to leave this town. That has nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. Stop making it about me. Now, sometimes you just need to remember why it is you started doing whatever it is you're doing in the first place. Okay? So some people will do something like they will write themselves a letter. Okay? I know some people who will write themselves a 90-day letter, and they kind of check in with themselves every once a quarter, and they write it to themselves as if they were like, you know, note to my future self. Okay? And it's, hey, Shelly, I am so glad that you decided to take fitness seriously in this last quarter. And I know that you've signed up for, you know, dance classes, and you're so much healthier and more fit and more fulfilled because you've been doing them. And wow, your confidence in yourself, the way you carry yourself, it is really shining through, and you look amazing. You know, something like that. And you have 4 or 5 points, whether that's based on home, body fitness goals, work, you know, and then relationship, whatever it is, those like 4 types of points. You could write yourself something about those 4 points. You could write yourself something about only one of those 4 points. And you check in with yourself every 90 days. You write it as part of like a self day. And you say, I'm going to write this to myself. And then 90 days, you make an appointment with yourself, put it on your calendar, you open up that letter, and then you evaluate. How does this make me feel? Did I hit those goals? Did I not even get close to any of those goals? Is that okay? What do I want to revamp in my next letter to myself after evaluating this feedback of what I thought I was going to be at 90 days ago? Am I fulfilling that promise? Am I close to what I promised myself I would be doing? Did I fall off a little bit, and do I need to recommit to that? It can be really, really powerful if you kind of give into that moment and just be like, either way. It could be like, dude, I kicked ass this last quarter, right? And sometimes in big companies, they call them, you know, like OKRs or quarter check-ins or quarter goals, where it's basically like, I would like to do this. And sometimes you really have to celebrate the little wins and realize how far you've come. And you can actually, did you say that Susie is a young Susan? Oh, that was hilarious. Oh my God, I love that so much. Just a young Susan. Maybe like Kimmy is a young Karen. Oh my God, I love that so much. Yes. Okay. Okay, we're gonna drink to that. Good one. That was funny. I like that. All right. So maybe you write yourself a letter. My baby, she wrote me a letter. And you check in with yourself, right? And it'll be good for you. Now, another thing that you can do to make yourself feel a little bit better when you may be feeling a little bit down in the dumps, which I'm not gonna lie, I mean, yes, I totally sometimes feel down in the dumps. something that you can do is screenshot all of your positive comments now, whether that's coming as a Instagram comment, a comment on your YouTube video, like a tweet that was sent to you, an email that someone wrote to you. Someone sent me, I'm going to screenshot it today. I was so surprised. Someone, I don't even know how, because I don't remember even like advertising that I even still had a buy me a coffee. But basically, so for anyone who is also not monetized or looking for an additional way to make money, you can set up your own kind of link. It's called buy me a coffee, and you can set up these little tiers, like whatever a cup of coffee might cost you, like $3, $5, whatever. And people can basically give you a one-time tip as a buy me a coffee. And I had someone send me one today, and it was from someone who listened to my talk at Podfest this morning. And I was just like, what is this? This is so awesome. And then they left a nice little note, and I was going to screenshot that and like put that in my feel good folder. But every once in a while, when I'm feeling not great, I go to my folder, and I even have it up in the clouds so that I can access it from my phone. I can access it from a computer, and I have it up in a folder in PicMonkey, and it just says kudos to feel good. And so once you kind of have a collection of them, and you're just doing a slideshow of people telling you you're great, you're pretty, you're, phenomenal, you're such a good teacher, you make me believe that I can do things, I finally understand how to do this now, I decided to start a YouTube channel. Like, you're going to tell me that you're going to read all of that and not feel like, holy crap, my heart is growing 5 sizes out of my chest. Because you would be a big fat liar, because there's no way that you're going to read all of that and still be like, I am made of stone and nothing can affect me. Like, get out of here with that, Susie and Susan. It's just not possible. It's not possible. So I would highly encourage you to have your own feel-good folder, right? And it is going to brighten your day. Any day that you're feeling crappy, you go to the folder and you start reading about yourself. And you're like, excuse me, Bianca says that I'm the best teacher that she's ever had, and not for nothing, but she's right. You know what I mean? Because like, I know me, I agree, I'm a pretty great teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just impossible not to walk away from that folder and be like, waddle away with like, I'm a badass. You know what I'm saying? I'm a badass woman. And you need that in your life. Because God knows it's not always going to be your family and friends, because they're going to be like, you should give it up. You should back it in. Why? Because they're crabs in the bucket that want to pull you down for your own good. You know what I'm saying? We've covered this already. So once you have your folder of feel goods, okay? I debated whether or not I want to talk about this with y'all, but the truth is, maybe some of y'all believe this. Some of you don't. It's okay. We're just going to go with me on this journey for a little bit, okay? There are some of these theories that are going to do with like manifestation and envisioning your life and kind of mood boards and vision boards and that kind of thing. It's sometimes real, y'all, because you got to be treating yourself with some kindness, envisioning that you can have a better life, that you can have a happy ending, that you're worthy of the things that you're worthy of absolutely anything, right? And sometimes also taking gross accountability for the fact that like, I'm feeling crappy right now. What have I done to help put me in this stage? And ooh, I know those are like dangerous fighting words. Like, those are fighting words right there. But sometimes it's more to do with you and your mindset and all of that. And what really needs fixing sometimes is you. And I know it's like, oh, it hurts. It hurts. But people who are grossly self-confident in themselves, people who have good self-esteem, people who like know that they're fully capable, I think sometimes have more good days than people who only constantly negatively talk about themselves. I know that was like a little confusing, but you know what I'm saying? If you are someone who's always negative to your friends, to your partner, to your pets, oh, poor things, to your plants, and they want to wither and die, then it's no surprise at all that all of a sudden then your life starts to feel a little bit like everyone's out to get you. Everything's a little bit more negative. You're not allowed to get the things that you want in life. And the truth is that none of those things are true, because we are all grossly responsible for the things that happen in our lives, as well as the things that and how we react to them. And it's called this like idea of radical responsibility. And it's just like, I can react in this moment, I can get angry in this moment, or I can actually get to realizing what I did possibly to also get me in this situation. Some situations this does not apply. I am saying in life in general, okay, guys? Don't come for me and try like, well, this person didn't deserve to die when walking down. Okay, of course not. Okay, and we're not going to victim blame and say that, you know, they shouldn't have been walking late at night, because I'm not saying that. Okay, so don't come for me with that. But I'm saying in general in life, good keeps attracting good. And you ever notice that sometimes like good things keep happening to people, and it's almost like they expect it, or they're still appreciative, but it's just like, why do good things always keep happening to them? Why doesn't it happen to me? And that jealousy pie is there beating out of your chest, being like, maybe that's why sometimes good things don't happen to you. Okay. Is because sometimes things may be happening to you. They may be good and you just may not recognize them, and you're shitting all over them anyway. Okay. So maybe this thing that happened to the other person, maybe it's not even great, but they can react and treat it like it's great. Okay. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to come back to the comments here for a second. We've got the, I'm definitely a vision board type of gal. I literally pass by my board daily and I check off goals as I accomplish them. Hell yeah. You write yourself a letter every 90 days and check in, because if you think about it, a goal should have a roadmap. So if you think about that and you're like, here is my word of the year, or my vision board. Also, in addition to the vision board, you're like, what are the steps that I would need to take to get to that goal? Or if I were the person who had achieved that goal, what would my day look like? And then you start to like think about how you change your life to be more like that. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It's a thing, people. It's totally a thing. So I'm going to check in. Are we picking up what I'm laying down, all that good stuff? Where are we at with this? Yes, no's, yes, no's. 90-day letter. Yes. 90-day fiance. No. 90-day letter. Yes. Yeah. Sounding like my live streams last night. Oh, I missed it. And also I think Pixel Pia was live streaming last night. I missed that one too. I was prepping my slides. I was doing all of my run through, all that stuff. Okay. Yes. We're picking up what we're laying down. Awesome. All right. Now, when you have your folder of feel goods, right? Should be all of your greatest hits. It's great when other people are telling you how wonderful you are. F with your heads just a little bit here. Sometimes the person you need to hear it from most is you. And just like I said earlier, you are your own worst critic. You're kind of an asshole to yourself most of the times. You're way crueler than anyone else would be to you. So you have to practice loving yourself and talking about yourself in a way that makes you feel proud. I know. This is like, But I'm telling you, this stuff works. Now, if it comes into some sort of situation where you're like, looking at your 90-day letter, think of how you're talking to yourself and then be like, what can I do to talk to myself more so like that every day? So you start saying things like, Shelly, you are a beautiful dancer and you pick up choreography so well. I think it would be awesome if you found an online dance class to take. Yeah. Moving, endorphins, hair flipping, hairography. That sounds good. Maybe I should do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to self-talk it to yourself to start believing it, to start then acting upon things. So you have to continue to be kind to yourself. And that includes, are you staying up too late? Are you not getting enough sleep? Are you treating your body kindly? It doesn't mean like only eating like celery sticks. It means, are you giving your body what it needs? Instead of having bacon cheeseburgers 4 times a day, could we just have it once? And actually, I don't know, throw in some Fruit Loops or something for breakfast, a whole grain diet, whatever it is. Little things like that. Hold me closer, tiny dancer. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm mad about the whole like count on the highway. Anyways, manifestation, vision boarding, that kind of things. And one of the things is, if you are in the position where it's very, very difficult for you to talk nicely to yourself. And I'm definitely in that one. Like, I'm kind of just an asshole to myself. I'm just not kind at all. And the thing that sometimes that I have to do is try to practice being grateful. And it's definitely hard, because I feel like, oh, there's a lot of things that I could totally just be all up in arms about, be upset about. And so sometimes we have to practice gratitude. You know, I'm grateful today that I have a job that I can work from home. I'm grateful today that I have a YouTube channel that I can stream to on Thursdays and interact with people in real time. I'm grateful for the people who show up. Those types of things where you start saying them to yourself over and over and believing them, you're starting to replace negative thoughts with positive thoughts, and it's starting to do things for your own mental health. And I know I'm coming into this whole like manifestation, mental health and stuff, but mental health is so easy to disregard, and it's something that a lot of creators have a really hard time with, because we've got expectations of what our audience wants, we've got expectations of what we want, we've got expectations for, you know, our viewers and our family, and there's a lot of stuff swirling up in here. And sometimes, like I said, we're just not very kind to ourselves, and then you get into a whole bunch of mean comments and they're not kind to us, and then all of a sudden we start thinking, I shouldn't have a channel, I don't even know why I do this. And that downward shame spiral that happens is doing no one any good if you're depriving, at the end of the day, people from your own gifts. Okay? Oh, hey, we have a visitor. We got a visitor. Okay, hey Dee, how's it going? If you're out there and you want to pop in, I'm more than happy to send you a link. We're just talking about mental health, creator burnout, and overwhelm on YouTube. So if any of that sounds good to you, feel free to pop in. Now, Dee is a really great example. He could be someone who could be wallowing in the fact that, like, I'm not stuck in Mexico, but you know what I'm saying? Because that's a negative mindset right there. He gets to have the freedom to be able to continue doing his job from another country. That's amazing. He can continue to make content with a cell phone because he has the ability to have that. That's amazing. He can continue to work with brands because he's able to work a partnership and they're still involved and loving the type of content that he's creating, so he can live stream and create value for his audience. That's amazing. He can still keep the hours that he needs to because of the fact that, you know, he's able to create off of his phone, and with he has basically an entire studio down there in Mexico now. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are all things that he could be grateful for, when someone else in a very negative headspace could be like, I'm away from my studio, I'm away from my family, I'm away from, you know, the country where, like, I've been, you know, living for the past few years. Like, it could be a very easy to take this negative turn, you know, but he's not doing that, and he's continuing to show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a very different type of thing when you start to reframe how your brain is looking at some of these things. Let's do it. Okay, awesome. Let me send you a link via Twitter DM. Okay, so check your Twitter DM in just a second. Let me get into Ecamm and find a link for you. 1 second. If I were a linker, then I'd link all the linkies in the world. If I were a linker. You know what? You guys don't need to listen to me sing. Give me 1 sec. Let's give you a song, and I'll be right back as I go and get that to Dee. Talking all about mental health, apparently. 1 second. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to come in, and I'm going to assign you a position and then bring you in just 1 second here. Let's hope I haven't screwed things up with my my music here. It's nice to see you. I am appreciating that purple background. You know it's my favorite color.
How are you doing?
Good. It's always so good
How
to
you
see
doing?
you. I'm doing well, thanks. Oh my gosh, I was saying that today has been the longest day in history. I had my very first, I was speaking at Podfest this morning, and it was 7 a.m. 7 a.m. start time. I know, right? I'm not up that early for my real day job. So I spoke at Podfest, and then I was at my real job, and then I came back for a second session at Podfest, and then I went to Clubhouse for the Ladies of YouTube Clubhouse room, and then I came here, and I'm like, it's just been the day, man. It's been a day. So.
Are you hydrating?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Are you hydrating?
Yeah, but I'm not going to hold it up because it's branded.
Okay. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. We got to get that sponsorship number. And they're not paying me, so I'm not holding it up on screen. I was straight up like, this is Gary V's Wine of the Month Club. Like, just straight up. Like,
well, I'm actually more about respecting your sponsorship. So.
Oh, I see where you're going with that. You know what I will say, though? That particular mug I love because it is like large and in charge in its ounceage. And so I can get like a very large coffee in that cup. It's a very good cup. I have that cup. They were very nice to send me, but yes, I don't drink from that cup during certain live streams.
I eat cereal. I eat cereal out of it. It's huge.
It's a good cup, right? Oh, okay. So I'm sorry, but Christina Smallhorn has just come in and
Christina.
left a super chat. And so when we super chat, we got to dance because I know you got the funk. So I know you were already in here as we were dancing, but we got to do one more dance break to celebrate. Yes. All right. So thank you so much, Christina. If you have a question, please leave it, and I'll try and answer it, or maybe Dee can answer it for you. All right,
Christina's
ready?
awesome. Yeah.
We're going under the sea. Oh, wait. You're not on the screen. Wait. I can fix it. I can fix it. Oh, no. You're not in the thing. I will fix it. Live.
I feel like I should be throwing dollar
right?
bills
Like
or something. Yeah, that's a good beat. I like that.
Clap. I like that one a lot. Let me also respect, I know we're on my channel, but let me also respect the fact that I know you have your own. Oh, wait a second. 1 second. I swear, it's coming.
So the topic you're talking about tonight, it's an important topic.
Let me respect your sponsor as well.
That's okay.
Not having it on the screen. Yes.
That's okay.
Okay, thank you.
That's okay. You're talking about creator burnout and dealing with overwhelm.
Yes.
Where, yeah, I literally just I came back inside. I opened up the computer and you popped on. So I don't know what you've already talked about or how long you've actually been going about this, but yeah, I'm happy to join the conversation.
I am 6 Post-its deep, which is about an hour.
Okay.
But I am very excited that you're here. Oh, let's throw us in a crop here since we don't have little button overlay here. 1 second. Let's see what we can do. Crop. Nope. You're in a picture now. Give me a second. Crop splits. There we go. Okay. Side by side.
Perfect.
All right. Although I'm like very zoomed in now. Okay. Yes. So what would you like to tell us about, I was just talking though about how you could be in a very negative headspace because of the fact that you've been in Mexico for how long now?
Exactly a year.
Has it been a year now?
It's been a year because social media marketing world. I arrived in San Diego just a couple of days before social media marketing world, and I couldn't go because I got sick. I came off the plane and I was sick, and I was afraid that I brought the virus with me. I might be patient 0. Who knows?
Oh no, I'm so sorry. Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's been a year.
But you weren't in where you are for like the last for the whole year because you were someplace else for like a few months first, and then you kind of switched over, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, the world didn't actually shut down, but we've been in Mexico for almost a year. Well, no, we've been in Mexico for a year. We've been stuck in Mexico for, 11 months, but we've been in Mexico for a year.
Yeah, you were in that Airbnb for like a long time, right? You were doing like
Yeah,
a month over there.
we bounced around in a couple of different Airbnbs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? So I was just saying though that like it could be very easy for you to be like in a very negative headspace. Like I haven't been home in a year. I'm away from my brother. Never gotten to open my play button. You know, like all of this stuff, and you continue to show up.
Button.
You continue.
Button, yeah.
I know. And you continue to make content. You continue to work with sponsors. And I think that your story is like really amazing because you're just kind of one of those like you just keep doing it. There's no excuses. And you keep showing up. And so I have a harder time sometimes having this real sympathy and empathy. I mean, I have empathy, but I just can't. Just like, you know, when El Jefe made his first 100, 200 videos off of his phone, and then people were saying, like, you can't have a real YouTube channel off of a phone. And I'm like, well, this dude got 30,000 subscribers before he ever graduated to a camera. So tell me what's up, you know, or you know, being like, excuse me, you broke not only 100,000, but you're up to like 130,000 off of now your phone. So tell me how, like, your life is so rough, Susie. If you didn't know, every time we throw a jab, it's either Susie or Susan. I don't know what it is, but that's just what I got right now. And, you know, I don't know. Next time I'll pick a new name, but Susie and Susan always seem to come to mind. And I said in advance, no offense to any Susans or Susies that I may know. I know two. They're both very nice people. But I'm saying that you could very much be in a negative headspace. And how do you continue to show up and be positive, even though you haven't been home in a year?
Well, since we're talking about creator burnout and dealing with overwhelm, and I guess let's get into some real talk. I have definitely been through my fair share of negative headspace in the past year. It's been very difficult to continue to put one foot in front of the other, but that's the key, right? It's just putting one foot in front of the other. I have taken some time off in terms for uploading my videos. I always try to get in there for my live streams, and I try to be active in other places. But in terms of recording videos, I did take some time off. I did reduce my upload schedule. I just wasn't feeling it, and it wasn't all just about me. It also just didn't feel right in general, especially when all this whole thing in the world happened and so many people are suffering for various reasons, you know, out of work or health issues. And I just thought, really, does the world need another tutorial right now? It just, the whole thing just felt off for a long time. So, but yeah, I've definitely it's been a roller coaster for me. But just, you know, one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, and still going. You know, that's really the key. I felt like that a lot
too when you're like, does the world need another tutorial? And I remember like watching a lot of people have this online debate. I'm in a lot of beauty forums, you know, because I used to have a beauty channel. I'm still kind of involved in that world. And a lot of people were like, no, more than ever, I need this content because if I don't have something to look forward to, whether it's a set schedule of like videos or whatever else it is, I would be so much more depressed. Or I did start thinking about it as like, yeah, I'm teaching tutorials, but there's a lot of people home right now being able to finally learn something and do something kind of productive with their time. And if it's find my YouTube channel and figure out how to make videos to connect with other people so that they can feel less lonely, that might be worth it, you know? So like maybe sometimes the world does need another tutorial video or just like get ready with me because they don't get to go out with their friends anymore and have a makeup party. And so watching someone put on their makeup can be not only relaxing, but make it feel like you're with a friend. So I feel like it can go either way because it's at one point you're like, oh, it's so insensitive to just like go on. Like the world is like not affected. And in some people they were like, no, yeah. I need this so bad. So.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to look at it. Obviously, I did upload some videos, so I've yo-yoed back and forth on that, you know. But I struggled with it for a long time. I took a really long break at the beginning because everything just felt wrong. Everything felt wrong, and I completely understand where people might need that more than ever, but it still felt wrong. I don't know. I'm really big on you know, gut feelings and instincts and just playing by you know, how I feel about stuff. I mean, it's one thing to have strategy. You know, I think people should have strategy with the things that they're doing and definitely have a goal that they're moving towards. But at the same time, you got to feel it. You got to read the room.
It's like head versus heart, you know?
Yeah, totally.
And it's very much sometimes that dichotomy in the pull of like, I don't know if, yeah. And you have to listen to yourself because you know yourself. And like I said earlier, you are your own worst critic. You are hardly ever your best cheerleader, but usually you can be pretty in tune with how would I feel making this content or how would I feel be receiving it. And so for a lot of people, I think it ebbs and flows. Like they might have taken a break, they might have come back, they might have, you know, then taken another break because the situation of the world that we're in right now is also, I think as we approach the year mark, I've been home since I think it was like March 5th of last year. And so there's something significant to me. I mean, it was starting to happen, but the whole like, no, everyone is moving to work from home now, and it became more serious, and like, no, you can't come into the office at all. And even coming up and approaching that anniversary, I'm starting to feel so irritable, and I'm getting angry. And the thing is that like
Yes, Shelly, yes. Yes.
I am angry.
We'll talk about that in a moment. Yes.
Yeah, we'll talk about it because I have been very diligent. So my husband goes out every 2 weeks and gets our groceries, but I've been home for like, you know, if you think about it, like my head is spinning at the thought of like a year, just like you being away for a year. And like when I start to think about it, the more and more angry that I get when I see people who are local who aren't wearing masks, who deny the thing is even happening, who, you know, who make these outrageous claims. And I'm like, God, can we just, I know it's inconvenient for you for just, can we just not be a selfish person for a little bit? Like these things, these gatherings, they're not necessary. These things that are happening, can we just for the greater good? And I feel like hopeless sometimes because I'm like, I'm home, I'm doing it. What more can I do when these little F heads in like LA have to literally have their power turned off to their party house because they won't stop partying? Like, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And not feel like irrationally angry about it, you know, and like helpless. And then when I find that like, even when I'm, oh yeah, I'm getting into the groove, I'm an introvert, I like being at home. And then I'm like, I've been home for a year, you know, like I'm angry about it.
Like I said, this has been a roller coaster for me for the past year, but I think the past 3 to 4 months, I'm really good at letting stuff go, right? I'm really good at letting stuff go and just kind of like the past is the past. I try to think about it, but there's been a boiling inside of me that started about 3 or 4 months ago. And I'm frothing right now at the top of the pan, and it's starting to overflow. And I have moments where I have to disconnect, and I'll put music on my headphones, and I just got to sit on the sofa and just chill for like 30 minutes because, you know, it's for the same exact reason. You know, like I've been stuck here for a year, right? And the reason I'm here isn't because of my passport; it's my girlfriend's passport that's got its pigeonholed. I could always go back to the U.S., but she can't come. But Mexico allows Americans and Canadians to continue to come here. And they are flooding this place. And they're going and they're having these huge beach parties. And they're bringing their nonsense into the stores. And they're not wearing their masks into the stores. And they're arguing with Mexican people. And they're just like spreading the virus. And I'm just like, for the love of all things holy, can we just, like, it doesn't, look, I don't care if you think masks work or not. I don't care if you think this is real or not. I don't care if my freedoms. Can you just be cool for like a couple of months? That's all we're asking.
That's all we're asking.
Just be cool for
Have
a couple of months.
Have some consideration for your fellow human. I know it's mildly inconvenient for like, you know, the 30 minutes that you're out. Just
for everybody. It sucks. It sucks. Nobody wants to wear a mask. Nobody wants to be stuck inside. Nobody wants to do any of this stuff. But can we just be cool for like a couple of months? Here's the thing. Do you know what's happened in all the countries where people all got on the same page? They're open. Their borders are closed, but they're going to concerts again. They're going to sporting events again. Yeah. They're eating out at restaurants again, right? They're doing all the things. Every now and then something pops up, but they get it under control really quickly because people work together. They're not protesting. And now I see they're protesting vaccines in the US, trying to stop other people from getting vaccines. And it makes my head want to explode. And yeah, so I'm with you on that. I have an anger inside of me towards humanity that I have never had in my life, to where I'm just like, I'm just like, you know what? If a meteor hit the planet right now, like just let me witness everybody else going out, just so I can go out with a smile on my face. Like I'm like that kind of anger.
I know, and it's not good to like wish anybody gets any kind of virus or any kind of thing. But it's like, could you just hear me for a minute? That maybe the people without the masks, like maybe, you know, if they understood how serious it was. And they don't care until someone close to them maybe contracts it. But then, like, it's all these people, it's only old people. And I'm like, oh, so grandma and grandpa don't matter? Or human life doesn't matter anymore? Or or
had
the
it.
fact that like your taste buds and your heart palpitations and like you're scarred for life with your lungs doesn't matter.
Yeah, so I had it. It was mild. But here's what's happened. So I've been free of it for a couple of weeks now. But what's happened to me is I've definitely got some long-term effects going on. Like I'm having just random periods throughout the day where my chest completely contracts on me and I can't breathe. And it's absolutely terrifying. Like I try to go for a walk and I have to stop and I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack. I've got insomnia. I've been having memory loss. My lungs just feel like I feel like I've got pneumonia, kind
And
of.
people would say, hey, you're a healthy, like big guy that like, oh, you should bounce back. This should feel like nothing. And it's like, it still affects you. It's still.
It's completely wiped me out. Physically, I you know how it is. So if you're going to go live, you're going to make a video, like you got to turn it on. You got to flip the switch. You got to bring it. You got to amp yourself up, bring the energy. But like, man, I promise you, as soon as I turn off this camera and go off your stream, I'm going to slump
I take a nap.
I'm going to drink some coffee. I'm going to drink a bunch of water, and it's going to be like, oh man, that was, whew.
Same. No matter what, after every live stream, I'm just like, I'm done. I'm donezo for the day. Like, no, not at all. Yeah. And I think what you said already with one, being able to identify that like sometimes being in your screen is something that makes you irritable or angry, or I cannot tell you the amount of times that I've typed out these long paragraphs that I'm about ready to hit send to, and then the shitstorm that pops up afterwards when you try and say anything science, and it's just like delete, and I have to walk away and get my nose out of whatever pixel thing I'm in. So whether it's phone, a computer, and like, nope, this is not good for me. I have to walk away. Not my circus, not my monkeys, not my problem. And it's hard to do that.
It's difficult. So so my routine normally is, I get up and I like to answer my YouTube comments and I, go reply to people wherever I can reply to people. But like I have had to back off of like opening up anything in the morning where I can read people's comments, because it's a train wreck. It's a dumpster fire. And if I see those things early on, it sets the tone for the day.
Yep.
And it just kind of like fires me up. And I'm just like, how can you be so stupid?
Oh my gosh.
How can you be so stupid?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I get, again, angry.
I mean, this plays right back around with what you're talking about with burnout, is like getting in that negative mindset can completely just trash any creativity.
And
you know what I mean?
It's a cycle that just keeps going. And then all of a sudden it's like, bad. You feel bad about yourself, and then you feel bad and you lash out at your partner, and then you feel bad and all of a sudden you lash out at the person who is delivering your groceries and putting their life on the line so that you can, be safer or whatever it is, and it just trickles out all this ugliness, and you don't realize that it starts with you. You know what I mean? Yeah,
and it's been a rough year. But let's just talk about burnout in general. Forget the past year. Forget what's going to be happening for the next 6 months or the next year going forward. I think just in general, YouTube specifically, YouTube is a hamster wheel, and it's exhausting.
And I say there's never an off button. Exhausting. There's no one there to be like, you're clocking out, you're done for the week, you put in 40 hours, and that was in one of the first post-its. And it's very unlike a 9-to-5 job where you clock out at 5 on a Friday and you don't have to think about it until you come back on Monday. And YouTube is never like that for you, because you're always thinking, what's the next video? What's the next best analytic? What is that click-through rate? There is never a time when the hamster wheel stops. And you just run until you eventually like either die or like go away, or like just have a crazy moment of like lashing out at someone. Like I said, you could all of a sudden clap back at someone in a live stream, and all of a sudden Roberto, I think, had posted about this, where he's like, I don't think I'm going to do a channel review because I spent 6 hours on a live stream, and then someone got upset about the first impression that I did of their channel. They're so ungrateful that I've been on for 6 hours. And I was just, do you remember we had that same conversation? And I was like, I don't want to do channel reviews anymore, because like I did an entire 4-hour session. I came back and I did 2 more hours of the people I didn't get to, and people were still upset with me about what I didn't give them, what I didn't do for them. And I was just like, holy shit, y'all, I just spent all of my time doing this when I could have been making content or doing other things. And it's like, you guys want to take and take and take. You didn't appreciate any of the fact that I did all of that. And then it's the same, because like there's never enough time that I can give to that, or never enough time to spend to answering all the comments, or never enough time in looking at my analytics or making my YouTube channel better. And it's maddening.
I do, mobile tutorials and that sort of thing. but like, that's not where I mean, I love helping people. I love teaching people. I love bringing people and helping them start their YouTube journey. But like, that's not what gets me up in the morning. You know, I don't wake up in the morning thinking about how I can make a tutorial on KineMaster. Like, that's not where my head's at.
Right.
So like, you know, it's something that I enjoy, and I absolutely love helping people along the way. And I love solving problems and that sort of thing. But like, you know, like, the thing that I would love to make a video or make a channel about, I can't make money on. Like, if you want to, hey, just start a channel where I can just talk about Star Wars all day.
Right.
Right?
Well, and I
Just
said
let me
sometimes if you have another channel that is completely unrelated to what you
A
sometimes
passion
feel boxed
project,
into,
right?
it's a passion project. So I can do a beauty box subscription unboxing, or I can make a you know, a video about vertical, or I can make a video about, you know, just a guitar live stream and music, and I don't have to feel like the only channel I have that I can come onto is this one, and the only thing people want to see me for is iMovie.
Yeah.
It's a really, it's a very small box to be in. I just want to be like, let me out of the box.
Well, yeah, again, though, that's the importance of choosing your niche. You know, like, okay, making tutorials, doing specific types of content, you can definitely make money doing that, right? It might take you a while to set that up, but you can definitely make money doing that. But you have to weigh this out between, like, am I trying to make money? Am I trying to build my brand? Or I'm just trying to have a good time? And I think for people who truly make content about the things that they just love the most, I don't think it's a matter of a hamster wheel for them, because, you know, like, somebody like Mark Rober, for example, he just comes up with the craziest stuff, right? He's got glitter bombs for, like, you know, porch pirates, and he's got the squirrel obstacle course. Like, how cool of a channel would that be?
He still has a day job,
You know what I mean?
too. He does that for fun. Like, it's all fun.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, he can take the glitter bomb thing and spend 3 months on that video, and when he puts it out, it's amazing.
Yeah, right. But I mean, I'm just thinking, like, you know, that's, you know, I think if you're able to make content that you just that truly just lights your fire, like, I just can't wait to make this video. Yeah, I think then on the hamster wheel, it's not a big deal, because you're truly doing something where it's just like, man, I just put me on the hamster wheel and just let me run all day long. I love this. I'm not complaining. I've been able to carve out a great space for myself and do very well. Not complaining here, but it is a bit of a hamster wheel for the type of content that I make, because of how YouTube interacts with my channel and stuff like that. But I just want to put this out there. I'm not complaining. I'm very thankful.
I'm not complaining,
thankful
everyone. I'm not complaining.
But it is a hamster wheel, you know, when you're on it. So you need to make sure that you enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah. And sometimes I was saying, like, you have to come back to your core. Like, why are you doing it in the first place? You know, are you fulfilling the mission that you originally set out for? Because sometimes if that is your guiding North Star, then you're like, then why am I doing this other content that I'm only doing for whatever reason if it's not actually what my guiding North Star is telling me to do? And so coming back to that, and I was saying earlier, maybe sometimes writing yourself a letter every 90 days to yourself and checking in with yourself about your goals and how you're going, and all of that can be really, really beneficial to a lot of people to kind of like stay on track, especially when YouTube, a lot of the time you don't have a boss, you know, not really, it's you, and like, are you happy, you know, at the end of the day is something you have to check in with.
You know, something I realized being here, so those of you who don't know, I do a live stream. Well, I did a live stream with my brother. That was Sunday morning for you guys in the US.
Yeah.
Him and live. So it was Saturday night for us over in Thailand. I do it with my brother Nick, and we built this studio and all this stuff. And I realized during my time here, like, YouTube isn't as fun for me here, because doing YouTube with him, like, I had so much more fun meeting with him, and like, I was always trying to figure out ways to make the studio better. Like, that whole thing made YouTube a lot more interesting for me.
Yeah.
It's because it wasn't always like, now where I am, I've had a year of just make the videos, do the live streams, answer the comments, strategy, right? But there, I'm like, I've got that, but at the same time, I got the creative juices. Like, how can I relight this set, or how can I rebuild this, or how can I run these cables? I was constantly in the state of just that creative flow, right? Trying to make the set better and trying to get the camera set up better. And man, I love that. I absolutely love that. And that's something that I've missed desperately.
And sometimes working, like, not only it's your family, and it's fun to bounce things off, and there's an energy that comes. So not having that for an entire year and then doing it all, not that you can't do it on your own, but you know what I mean? Like, bouncing it off someone else. It's just sometimes way more fun to do it with a friend or a family member.
Yeah. So, well, Shelly, what do you do? So if you just have burnout in general, how do you get over it? What do you do?
So I was saying I have a folder of feel goods, and that is positive comments that people have left, Instagram,
Oh,
YouTube,
that's so good. I
whatever.
love that.
And I
I
said,
love that.
there's no way that you're going to flip through 30, 40 photos of this and not walk away being like, I'm kind of a badass. I'm kind of awesome. I'm kind of
That's so
great.
good. I never even thought about that.
Oh
So you've
my
got
God,
like
you should do
a
it. It's
positive like affirmation folder of people who have
absolutely.
said, "Hey, thanks. You've
Yeah.
changed my life,
I've
or
got
you've
things
helped me
like,
be."
yeah, you
Ah, that's
changed my
so good.
life. You made this so easy. You're the best
That's
teacher.
so
I
good.
finally started a YouTube channel. And I'm like, you sit there and you shower in those like affirmations for 20
Oh, that's so
minutes.
good.
And there's no way that you're not coming out feeling just a little bit better. You know what I mean?
That's so
So,
good.
yeah. And then also, I was
I,
saying, getting away from the computer, getting my nose out of the pixel. Absolutely. Getting outside sometimes. Yeah.
yeah,
Cuddling with the
I love
dogs.
that. I love that. I never thought about putting that because that does change things. And I've mentioned that before. Like one thing that really kind of snaps me back is those types of comments. To those days where you're just like, man, I just can't make a video today. And then you open up, the YT Studio app, and it's like somebody's like, hey, I created my YouTube channel because I
Yes.
found your channel, and I
Yes.
just wanted to let you know I just landed my first brand
I
deal.
just did
And I'm
my
just like,
first, yeah, I
holy
just made
crap.
my first video. I just landed my
Yeah,
first brand deal. I finally
yeah.
learned how to do that animation for the subscribe button, all of those things. And if
It
you
makes it all
are
worth it.
listening
And then it's
out
all worth
there,
it. Yeah.
it makes our day. It is in some of our feel good folders. So if you see something that you like, please comment it. They may not see it right, but we do read them and we see them. And trust me, it makes a difference in seeing that kind of stuff. So if you see something you like,
Yeah.
say something.
Yeah, it does make the difference, and it makes it all worth it. And like when your tank is empty and you read those things, it's like full tank. It's full tank, and you
Yeah, like
just go,
half tank.
blindness.
Half tank sometimes full
Have
tank.
things, but yeah, but it helps. Like
Yeah.
like those little positive affirmations, where people are just like, hey, man, like you really helped me out and that sort of thing. It's
Yeah.
great. I love to listen to music. I listen to
Yes.
music a lot, and
Sometimes dancing around just like gets your endorphins and everything like moving. Like once you're moving your body and you're listening to music and there's something that happens. Like sometimes when you're even dancing sporadically, sometimes I'll do it before a live stream because like you're just feeling good, you're moving, and like it does make you feel better. Movement can make you feel better. Absolutely.
it does. Sometimes I boogie before my live stream,
I
before
do
my
too.
Sunday show. So I can't play the music that I want to play on my live stream. Now, if somebody leaves a super chat, I like to play like funk, but I get it all from Epidemic Sound, right? So I'm limited to their library there. But before I go on, I'm playing like James Brown, Sly and the Family Stone, Ohio Players, Parliament. I got like some hardcore booty shaking funk, and I'll just like turn it on. I'm just like, ugh, and I'm just like boogieing around before I
I
go
do the
on, try to
same
get hyped up
sometimes.
before I
Like
go
I
live.
have
It's just so
also a
good.
female empowerment playlist where it's just females and it's upbeat songs, and I call it my Boss Babe Vibes playlist
I
or
love it.
something on Spotify, and like stuff like that can just like make you feel better because you're like, yeah, I'm a badass woman, blah blah blah, or whatever it
Yes,
is. Like
music.
you feel good. Yeah, music can totally make me feel good. And I was also saying that yes, getting away. Sometimes I was touching on the fact that for people who experience female things that happen to them, there's actually a book that talks about scientifically how certain times of the month can be more productive than others. And so maybe it's something about hormonal levels, about why you feel worse or better during certain times of that. And how sometimes there are some people who know that they're going to make major life decisions like, should I break up with him? Should I take that job? Should I ask for a raise or promotion? You know it during certain times, and you're like, yes, I feel sure about this. I feel good about this. And other times, just like, I don't want to interface with anyone, and I'm pretty angry, so I'm just gonna like only do emails or house like other things that aren't more public facing. You know what I mean? So like people who know that about themselves can actually kind of take that into account. And I was saying like sometimes having a phone a friend, just like we're doing right now, being able to vent. And some people may be like, oh, you're being negative, or oh, blah blah blah. But here's the thing: is sometimes you just need someone to say it to, so that it's out there in the ether, and you want someone who understands. And that could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be a fellow creator. And I was like, it's sometimes very powerful when you go to events, even like Vid Summit or whatever, because it's such a small environment of people who are going through the exact same type of things with a lot less egos than usual checked at the door. So being able to have that conversation with someone else and be like, yeah, and I couldn't publish my video because I hadn't processed the HD yet, and can you believe that, and I hate this, and just being able to say it once. It doesn't mean that we're always negative. It just means that I was able to say it, say my piece, and let it go, and say goodbye to that negative thought. But otherwise, if you don't have anyone to like spew it at in a direction, not at them, but in their direction out loud, then you just keep it bottled up inside, and it comes out as like anger and bubbles up in like really inopportune times, you know?
Well, I like live streams like this, for example, and on my own live stream, sometimes I like to have real talk because I get asked a lot. And so, presenting in front of the camera, going in front of the live streams, you always have your best face on.
Yes.
Right. You always try to bring as much positivity as possible because that's what people are there for. But we're humans. Right. We're humans. And when people, I get asked sometimes through my live stream through the questionnaire, it's like, how do you stay positive all the time? And I have to I don't. I'm just like you. Like, I'm just like everybody else in here. I've got my ups and my downs. But when you bring it, you bring it. You know what I mean? Like there's times you turn it on and there's times you turn it off. And the roller coaster is just part of the journey. And I totally believe in, like you mentioned, those cycles, be it hormonal or whatever they are.
Well, I was saying before you go, some people do it by moon cycles or by lunar, or like those type of things.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, and some people know it by this type of sleep pattern that they have. So that can also be like if you're a morning bird, then you know that you don't do really well late at night. You're in bed at 9 p.m. Like having a call at 10 p.m. at night would just be like, oh, hell no. You know what I mean? But if you're someone who's like always up until 3 a.m., then all of a sudden it's like, that's when I make my best decisions. Like when the house is quiet and there's not a lot of people like yapping at me, like bring it on because I'm a different like bear or whatever it is. So that could totally be something.
I think there's something to it because I go in cycles. Like I've never been someone who can just turn it on and run all day, every day. I can turn it on and run hard for like 2 or 3 weeks. And then I need a week or two where I just like kind of lollygag around and I tinker here and there. And then I'll come back and just go at it super hard again for, 2 or 3 weeks. So there is a cycle to how I do things.
And for someone like you, if you know that and you kind of even can map it out when that happens, then you might be someone who would do something like, I'm going to batch film so that on that week when I'm not feeling my best, that video is already going to be done, edited, and uploaded so that I don't have to do that. And knowing that about yourself, you could be like, and this is how I also help take care of my mental health because I'm not pushing myself to make content during a week when I know that I'm not at my best, because the audience will know that, I will know that, I'll be like hypercritical, I'll be grouchy, I won't be happy, and I'll feel burnt out, So it's like knowing some of that stuff about how you work best, some of that's very important.
Yeah, identifying your own patterns, absolutely.
Absolutely.
When you're up, I've being able to identify when you're up, when you're down, when you've got the energy, when you don't have the energy. Yeah, a lot of that's back to same with YouTube. Is identifying the patterns of what's working on your channel. Same exact thing. Identifying the patterns of what's working and what's not working in your life. And then, with you, absolutely.
I mean, because we are all just like amazing beings, but all of us can tend to hit a wall and we feel exhausted and we need replenishment. Now, whether that's, seasonal, whether that's because of whatever phases, whether it's because of just anything else, you have to, and I said this before, you have to be a little bit more in tune with your body sometimes. And sometimes it's telling you like, I'm not happy right now. You need to pay attention to me. And it starts to manifest itself in things like headaches, body aches, different things that come out and, like stress headaches. And you have to be like, maybe I'm not doing the best thing for myself by having all of this Jack in the Box and never actually going outside, taking a walk, or, like eating something that doesn't have a whole bunch of like bacon and cheese on it.
Yeah. When people are coming onto YouTube, and I know you see these questions too as a YouTube educator. People are always asking, what should my upload schedule be?
Mm-hmm.
What's the frequency that I should upload? Should I upload 3 times a week? And anytime I see that, I'm just like, oh man, like, I know that the more you upload, the more opportunities are there. But it's like you're fishing. The more poles you have in the water, the more bait you have on the hooks, the more fish you can catch. I get that, but at the same time, it shouldn't come at the cost of your mental health.
Yes.
So what I tell people is, look, find a schedule that you can keep up with so it doesn't drive yourself crazy. Forget about people talking about, you got to upload 3 times a week. YouTube, you got to upload 3 times a week. Facebook, you got to have twice a week. TikTok, you need to upload 6 pieces of content today. Instagram, it's like, what?
And then people feel like they're less than, and they're like, oh, this sucks. I haven't done any of it. And then they're beating themselves up for not hitting this arbitrary number that who made up, you know?
It's nonsense. All of that stuff is nonsense. I mean, just look, make content that you can make when you can make it and do the best job you can and try to learn along the way. Don't try to follow because that worked for somebody else. I guarantee you that that's not going to work for you. Like there isn't some formula that's like, hey, if you want to succeed on TikTok, you have to upload 12 times a day.
And they think it's
prescriptive. Somebody just pulled that right out of the butt.
As soon as I do this, then I'll have success. And I'm like, that's not how it works. It's about connecting with an audience and like actually providing value or, you know, like whatever. And I was just like, so one of the reasons that I created the show on Tuesdays, which is called Would You Buy That? And I do it with Scott Peachy.
On Amazon, yeah. I lurked on one of those.
Oh, good. Yeah. One of the reasons we do that is
I just want to let everybody know on here, I'm a total online lurker. So if you're live, there's a good chance it's playing in the background. This goes for anybody in the chat. Yeah.
One of the reasons that we did that is it was multiple reasons. One, we were lamenting to each other that we don't tend to do well with selling things to our audiences. Like we were talking about Ecamm, or we were talking about something, or you know, TubeBuddy. And I know for a fact that a lot of people make a lot of money every month off TubeBuddy. I make like next to nothing, even though I've been singing their praises and like loving on them for 4 years. And it's just the way it is. It's not like good or bad. It's not like I'm not super angry about it, even when I know some people are making multiple thousands per month. That's their journey. That's not me. But the thing, I was like, I don't know if my audience just never wants to buy anything from me, if I've trained them for that. But like we were talking and he was like, people don't buy from me either. I make a little bit off of this. And we were like, you know, what if we tried to do something fun together where we actually tried to boost like affiliate commissions? What if we tried to get into the Amazon live streaming program? Because a friend of ours was, if you live stream enough and get their attention, then they will basically pay you to live stream on their platform and pay you in gift cards. And I'm like, I'm spending enough right now. I'd like to get paid in gift cards. Sure. Yes, please. And so we were like, maybe if we did a show. And the thing is, for our own mental health, I was like, it needs to be fun. So we talk about, you know, like dog toys that light up, or just different things that are absolutely nothing to do with either of our channels, but it's fun to talk to a creator. It's fun to have interaction. It's fun to go live. Yes. It's fun to have another piece of like content. If I ever happen to sell anything, great, but that's not the point. And it was just like, that is something that I'm doing for my mental health. And another thing I do for my mental health is I do this show on Thursdays, and I do it live because I was like, I want to try and get out another video per week. I don't have the time to edit. I don't have the time to go through all of that. And I don't like anymore sometimes doing some of the pre-recorded videos because I like interacting with people, at least through chat or comments or whatever else it is. Because right now I think what we're all missing is connection with people. So it's like, if I can go live and connect with people and get just as many views as a video that I spent hours editing and whatever, the same amount of views, like, then why would I not just go live? Like, so that's the only reason why I'm now up to 3 times a week posting, is because one is for my mental health and fun. One is just because like, you know, I want to have another piece of content and it's the only way I can do it. And then the other is like the tutorial or whatever one that I have to put out.
Get in where you fit in.
Exactly. And I'm like, I'm being honest, this is the best I can do right now. This is the best that I can do given like the conditions that I'm in, given my work schedule, given my capabilities and my own mental capacity. This is the best I can do right now.
That's all anybody can do. Right. Just do the best you can do, right? That's all anybody can do. And in terms of making sales, I mean, you know, there's some things that I cannot give away. And then there's some things that sell very easily for my audience. So it just totally depends. It just totally depends. Like literally there's some things that I just can't, you know, even if I'm just like, hey, here's a bunch of codes to a bunch of free stuff. And like, nope, not interested in that. And then there's stuff that you wouldn't think that yeah, and there's things that you think, but that's the weird thing about affiliate marketing, or just sales in general. It can be.
And I think I've told you, like my number one thing that I sell every year, every month, every whatever, it's so ridiculous. It's the red paint to repair Louboutin shoes on Amazon. So my friend was moving to New York to be with her boyfriend, and she had purchased these Louboutin shoes, these, you know, the red pumps. And she's like, I can't take these with me. Do you want to buy them for like $25? And I was like, yes, but I'll pay $25 per shoe. So I give her $50 for these shoes, right? And then I wore them once. Not only are they stupid uncomfortable, they scuffed up like no other. And so my friend had made this video about how to paint the bottoms of them with this red paint, and it looks good as new. So I was like, hey, do you mind if I recreate this video and I'll credit you? And do you mind if I give it a shot and do the same video? And she's like, I don't own this video, go for it, you know? So I was like, awesome. So I made this video randomly and painting the bottom of my Louboutins to repair them with my iPad. Like, and I have sold hundreds of bottles of this red paint in a 3-minute video. It is the most sold thing I've ever sold on my channel, period. I cannot give away 2 weeks free of TubeBuddy, and I'm the only one who has this code. But I can sell bottles of this red Louboutin paint for shoes. Like, it makes no sense at all.
Speaking of TubeBuddy, I'm not on the team anymore. I stepped away.
I'm not on the team anymore either. Well, not that I was on the team, but
there's been a bit of an exodus over there. Yeah.
We could talk about this. We can talk about it live, or we can talk about it after we cut.
my top item that I've sold is the Boya BYM1 microphone. I think I've sold 800 of those things right now.
It's crazy, right? Sometimes the things you would never sell.
This is great now. Hold on, you're gonna love this. I've sold 800 plus, right? Boya contacts me wanting to know if I can work with them. And I was like, yeah, here's, I showed them my stats. So yeah, I sold like 800 of this one microphone. I've sold lots of other microphones, and their payment that they wanted to pay me for to make a video is they wanted to give me a microphone. And I was like, get out of here. Just walk. Just delete my email address. Get out of here with that
anymore.
Yeah. This one microphone I sold over 800, and you're wanting to give me a $20 microphone. Get out of here.
That's ridiculous. That is, it's so ridiculous. Well, you know what though? I think we were talking about this today actually in Clubhouse, because the topic in every Thursday is like ladies of YouTube, and of course gentlemen are welcome, but it's just a place where people can come and ask questions. And one of the topics today was based on what can I charge, brand deals, the like pricing. And I said one thing that I'm very cognizant of, thankful for, highly encourage, is talking with other creators in your space, having open dialogue, honest dialogue. And you and I have also had that relationship where, I was approached by a certain company and you were approached by the same company. And then, when we kind of compared rate sheets, I noticed that my rate was significantly lower than yours. And I knew that maybe it wasn't a video that I wanted to do, or, that kind of thing. And I'm saying, like, one, I am grateful to have a friend in you that is like open, honest, but I feel like it's something that needs to happen in the community more often, because I feel like everyone is like shrouded in secrecy, and this whole like community is not a community that believes in collaboration over competition a lot of the time, and it's just like, just because you happen to make a video on the same topic that I do with the same sponsor, it doesn't mean that we reach the same people. It doesn't mean that we present it in the same way. But like knowing, what they may offer you, what they may offer me, is also like an indicator that like, oh, they're willing to pay, just not pay me, or that's not a company I want to work for, or whatever it is. And so, one, I want to say thank you for sharing. Yeah, but like, I don't understand sometimes why people are so secretive about that kind of stuff with each other. So,
I think it's great, and this, for everybody in the chat right now, is to get a little group of people together. Whatever. If you're on Discord, put a Discord together, or if you're doing like a private group on Twitter or even on Facebook. Get a group together of people with channels around the same size as yours. If it can be somewhat in similar niche, that's even better. So when things like this happen, like you guys can like share stuff and like share your experience. It's like, hey, I got reached out by this brand. What do you think about this? So on and so forth. Like, everybody I know has some sort of a group where they can share information and bounce ideas off of each other. And I can't stress enough that that's just important. To have that, hey guys, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? And there's 20 people like, that's a terrible idea. Don't do that. And I'm like, I should do it. That's exactly what I need to do then.
And not only that, like, I'm just not of the mind that like there's only one success pie, and like
Yeah.
more for you means less for me. Like, that's never been my bag at all. So I remember when I got reached out to by some phone grip companies and, you know, wanted me to do phone grip reviews. And I remember being like, this is not a fit for me right now in my channel. But I introduced them to 2 different people that I felt would be in line with them, you know? And so, like, I believe in, like, sending out good karma and hoping that one day, you know, it's not that you expect to get paid back, but it's just good practice to do. Because so a friend of mine was like, oh, I really want to, like, reach out or connect or, like, review this microphone. And I happen to know someone who works at that company. Let me connect you. He got that microphone and was able to review it, you know? And then he was able to be like, oh, my video's not doing very well. I was like, change your title. He's doing great now, you know? And I'm not saying that it's because of me, but, like, if I make the connection and I'm genuinely happy to see it. I want his success because, like, that's great. And that doesn't, like, mean that I have less success, even though I did a microphone comparison video and it is not doing that great, but it doesn't mean that I'm not happy for him. And so, like, I feel like a lot of people confuse the fact that, like, everyone in the same space is, like, competitors with each other, because it's not really like that. Or, like, the fact that behind the scenes, I not only introduced a brand that I've worked with in the past or whatever to a new person, but when they wanted to talk numbers, like, I did a consultation with him for free and I said, hey, this is what I would put in a contract. This is how much they paid me. I think you're worth more. I think you should talk to them. He signed a contract with them, you know? And I'm not being like, pay me. And I'm not saying, like, give me stuff, but I'm saying, like, I'd like to see more people actually helping each other, helping the community, helping, and not being like, my precious, because I just feel like there's a lot of that in this community and it's just not a good feeling.
Yeah, I always try to bring people up. If I see people who are focusing on mobile stuff, trying to help mobile YouTubers, there's a couple of new creators on the come up. Man, I try to help them every chance I get, because, you know, like, we end up in each other's suggested videos anyway. So it's like, hey, you know, let's just start building that relationship now, and I can introduce you to some of these app companies that I've been working with and help you. I mean, I was very fortunate when I started this channel. You know, obviously I had my brother, and he definitely helped slingshot me into, you know, to get a head start into things. I was very fortunate. You know, I had support from people like Brian G. Johnson and Roberto Blake early on, and Justin Brown from Primal Video. Super fortunate to have those relationships to help me out. And I fully believe deep in my heart, you know, about just paying it forward. You know what I mean? Somebody helped me come up. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to help everybody else try to come up as well. The key is you have to be putting in the work. Like, you have to be putting in the work. It can't be one of those things where you're just kind of lollygagging around and you're just kind of not really if you're putting in the work and it's like, wow, this, like, they've got it. They're putting in the work. They're going to do something. Yeah, I'll bend over backwards. I'll bend over backwards for those people.
Very much be the case that your brother could have slingshotted you to a certain point, just like a shout out from a big creator, right, or like a whatever. But, like, the rest, you got to pick up and carry. Like, you know what I mean? You got to bring it across the finish line. You don't get to a silver play button that's sitting in a box someplace that you don't get to open unless you're working hard and putting out videos consistently and actually putting out quality content and doing all of the things. So it's like, anyone who wants to try and poop-ha and be like, you're only big because you're a brother. And I'm like, really?
Oh, I hear that a lot.
Because you get one shout out from a big creator, and then keep going and then see what happens. Or, you know, I'm like, try it. You know what I mean? And I just, it drives me a little bit, like, cuckoo when I'm just like, try it.
I get that all the time, and I'm cool with it. But, you know, my leg up really was that because I was live streaming on his channel for, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, every single Saturday for 3 to 6 hours at a time before this channel opened. So, like, when my first video went live, I had like 500 subscribers or something like that. So that was a little bit of a head start, you know.
But you still have to earn every single damn milestone on your own.
So. Oh yeah, absolutely. But and I want to pay it forward. You know, I see people coming up and they're putting in a ton of work, and I'm just like, hey, let's find a way to, you know, share information together. I can help put you in contact with some of the companies I've worked with, because I know that they're looking for channels like yours. I know how much they're going to pay because I was in your position before as well. So, yeah. I
love that. No, it's such a good mentality to have, because I think there's so many people out there with a scarcity mindset, you know, that they really do believe that you doing better means that I can't do better. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and it's just, I don't know how to get that through to people that it's not how it works. And in case, you know, I was like, even if you and I were making the exact same type of content, we would still be friendly, or I would want to be, because you know what would be awesome? We then actually do a collab, because you collab with people you like and people you know, and I actually did an entire talk this morning at Podfest about collaboration. And I said, people will collab with people they like, know, or trust. People will collab with people they can get something out of, but prefer to collab with someone they know, like, and trust, And I was just like, and sometimes collabs take a really long time, I was like, one of these days, I was like, you and I will collab or something, and it will just be like random happenstance, but it's not because of like any other circumstance, because of like scheduling, time, whatever. And it's just like all of those things. And I was saying some collabs may take years to happen. They just will.
I think,
and, like,
I think we were going to do.
Like,
I think you and I were supposed to do a collab at Vid Summit last year, but just Vid Summit got in the way and it didn't happen.
Well, no, we were going to do a collab the year before, because you even took videos, but then you said the video clips didn't work out well. So
yeah, I shot a bunch of stuff on my. Yeah, I had a bunch of videos that got ruined on my old Samsung.
Oh,
they were all corrupt. When I pulled them in, they were all corrupted videos. I don't know what happened, but yeah, the weird thing about collabs on my channel is I don't do them very often, because they don't do well at all. Like if I do a collab on my channel, it just they don't perform at all. Like as soon as
with Andrew Edwards, and I just lost a bunch of subscribers, but we were like eating Australian candy, so it had nothing. It was just for fun. It was for funsies, which I think is a legitimate reason to do a collab sometimes. But yeah, I know you did one with Jevin Dovey. I watched that.
Yeah. So my collab on his channel did really well. Like everything Jevin puts out, he just knocks it out of the park. Yeah, he's so good.
It's so good.
But collabs on my own channel generally don't do that well.
Really? Have you had very many?
I've done a handful, and they just don't. They just not what they're there for. So my audience,
just me.
So my core audience, right? They're cool. They like whatever. But like my audience in general, which is 90% of the people, 95% of the people watching my videos, they're there for the tutorial, and as soon as they get exactly what they need out of the tutorial, they're gone. That's the majority of the people watching my content.
Same with mine.
They're not interested in collabs. They're not interested in. They're not interested in me talking. It's like, give me the stuff, give it to me fast, and the second in your video where I know I'm to the last step, I'm out. Peace out.
Same.
Like that's 90 to 95% of the viewers on my channel.
Same. And it's tough, because even that can make you feel very depressed sometimes, because you're like, I'm a person. I've got like things to share and say, and like no one gives any F's about what you have to say or share. And that's why I kind of like the lives.
And I'm super thankful for Pixelpia and Adrian, who's in here, and James Pruitt and Mike and Matt Carp. I'm super thankful for those people, because they're the ones who come and hang out with me during the live streams. They'll come over to Twitch and hang out with, like, those are the people. Those are my people. You know what I mean? Like, those are my friends. Those are the people I want to hang out with. Everybody else, they're just like, give me what I came for. Give me what I clicked for. But here's the thing. It took me, even though I knew the information, and this is the weirdest thing about, trying to be a YouTube educator of some sorts. I knew this, but it took me about a year for that to connect with me on my channel because of my audience. I was like, why are people leaving my video at this particular point on my videos? And one day it was just like, oh, because it's the last step. But then once I realized that, right? And once I realized that, I was like, oh, okay. It is what it is. I've come.
Yeah, sorry. I do love the Thursday, getting to hang with the people that I see over and over again, or like the channel members, or the very familiar names. And it feels like getting to hang out with friends in a very regular cadence. And that is like important to me, and it feels special. And I like it so much. And that's why I love live streaming so much more. And it is a little disheartening, because I'm like, here are some people that actually like me, want to be here for me. These people that tune into my tutorials on Sundays. Step 3 of 3, and then like everyone's gone, and I'm like, yeah, got it.
I left Ed out of that. Sorry, Ed. Flash in your pan. I was just reading some of the comments in the chat and you just weren't on the screen at that time. That's all it was.
The 5 to 10%. I don't know what that's referring to, but like, no, I love you guys that like show up here consistently week after week. You got all of Pixelpia and Adrian and James Pruitt and absolutely. Caliber wings and flash in your pan.
Amazing community. Just amazing community.
You know
and
what's
it's
funny
like
is James told me that he found me through your Twitch stream. He told me that last week. And I'm like, Twitch stream? Like, that's random of all places. He said, yeah, he's like, I saw you through Dee's Twitch stream. I was like, oh, awesome.
I'm a Shelly cheerleader, man. I'm wherever I go.
I don't know. I don't know if I showed up in your Twitch stream, because sometimes I will do that, but I was just like, of all places, you found me on Twitch through D. Sweet.
The
It's
World
awesome,
Wide
though.
Web.
It's so weird how that happens sometimes. And you were doing channel reviews over there on Twitch for a while, and only on Twitch and not on YouTube. Are you still like deciding to do them only over there?
I did channel reviews on my channel, my main channel last Sunday, just because I hadn't done them in like a year. But I do them over on Twitch. I thought, you know what, just do something different on Twitch, because the thing is, I think I've only got like, I don't know how many followers I've got over there. 30? I don't know. Let me look
I have
real
like
quick.
8.
I need to look and see. I'm not even sure. 30, 40. What do I got? I have 147. I got 147 followers on Twitch. And for me, it's just like, you know what? If you're one of the early people in over here, I'll do the reviews. Let's hang out over here. You know, it's 18 plus only. I don't want kids over there. I want you to be 18 so we can talk about whatever. And I'll do the reviews over there. I'll do the things. I'll do this. I'll do all the stuff your wife won't.
No, I'll do the things I don't do over on YouTube for you over here on Twitch, because it's 18 plus. D. What? That sounds like very adult. Like, I'll do special things to you on Twitch that I don't do on YouTube.
Yeah. We go behind the dumpster on Twitch. Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's so amazing. So let me ask you then. I did this collab at Vid Summit the year we were actually going to collab, but I was running around with a bunch of I think you were in this collab actually, and James had brought it up a couple weeks ago, saying it was one of the favorite channels or favorite videos on my channel. I was saying I took a whole bunch of clips of people at that Vid Summit, and I said, what do you do when YouTube makes you sad? And I think you answered.
I vaguely remember this. I think I was.
You answered, and I want to know your new updated answer. And he was saying, like, it's a shame that video never really got appreciated or watched. And I'm like, yeah, it really is, because I think not only is it poignant and like purposeful, but it's also just like this little hidden jewel now on my channel. So if people wanted to watch it, they could. But I want your new updated answer. What do you do when YouTube makes you sad?
When YouTube makes me sad. When YouTube makes me sad, I listen to music. I try to disconnect. I try to hang out with my girlfriend and just completely forget about YouTube. I like to go live. Sometimes if you guys see me just pop up like on Twitch unannounced, or an unannounced member stream, or just an unannounced stream on my channel, it's usually because I'm blue. Maybe I'm feeling a little bit down. The YouTube analytics have got me down. The comments have beat me down. And I want people like Flash in Your Pan, a few people like Ed, Pixel P, people like James. I want the community to, they light me up again, right? Like, they remind me why I'm doing this in the first place. That sense of community, that sense of, they just make me feel good. So yeah, I do that. You know, music, girlfriend, hanging out with the community. Like, it's just that kind of, refills my tank. I don't know what I said the first time around. I'm probably in a different headspace now. You're gonna have to go watch the video now. You guys all will have to go and watch the video and see what his original answer was. And it's not like it's a wrong answer. It's just at that time in 2018, what that answer was. And now you can see, you know what? I should do that at like every Vid Summit, and it will be like the Vanity Fair, where they ask the same interview questions year after year with the same person. Yeah. Do that.
I should do that.
That's really cool.
It's like it's a uplifting thing. I cannot tell you how many people said disconnect, get off the phone, get off the computer, go outside, connect with nature, go for a walk.
Yeah.
So many times it was get the farthest away from a screen that you can, which is ironic because almost all of us make our living or a good amount of money by being on screen. And so it's amazing how sometimes just being away from the screen like really does wonders for your mental health. And it does.
And going live is therapeutic, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think going live is therapeutic, especially having conversations like this.
Yes.
And I want to throw one thing out there, because you talked about the irony of disconnecting from the screens and stuff like that. For as much as I appreciate the community, for as much as I appreciate this opportunity that's been given to me here on YouTube and stuff like that, I believe in my bones that social media is poison. I don't think it's healthy.
I am so there with you, because it is
I don't think it's healthy.
to give you FOMO, to make you feel like you're missing out on a lot of things. And no matter what you do, you will always compare yourself to whatever you're seeing. I'm not as rich. I'm not as pretty. I'm not as skinny. I'm not as, whatever it is. And it's almost always the case that you're doing some sort of comparison where you come out short. And that is detrimental to your health.
Yeah, there's that aspect of it, and I wish, and I want to say South Korea does this, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I would love to see user accounts actually verified and connected to actual people.
Yes.
So there's accountability for the things that you say. Yes. There's accountability for the things that you do online. Just because it's easy for somebody to create some troll account and just go in and just ruin somebody's day. And I just think that's just terrible. I've got pretty thick skin, so that stuff doesn't bother me that much. But I know for some people it cripples them, and that really, that bothers me.
It does. It can totally kill an entire day. I can be waking up and think that I was going to be productive. Before I get ready to film, and then all of a sudden I happen to open up the YouTube comments and someone is calling me disgusting and fat and ugly and stupid and just a million things, you guys. And because you don't see it on the channel, because maybe I have a strong filtered library of words or whatever it is, it doesn't mean that people don't comment it to us, that people don't say it to us, people don't invade our live streams and say it to us on different platforms. And it takes a toll on your mental health to just be like, I can't fight this all the time. I can't always come back with a sassy comeback. It's sometimes you just want to shrink and shrivel a bit and just be like, I guess, sure, I suck. I don't know why I'm doing this. You know what I mean? And I want you to know here, it says that James Pruitt says, you said, I take a walk and I listen to music. Not that he was paying attention.
Okay, yeah. So music again. Yeah, music.
So it's pretty much the same.
Yeah. Well, see, that was the thing, though. That was a while ago. So the past year, I haven't been able to walk. I'm inside. Right. So, but back when I'm in Thailand, so where the Niman Live studio is, it's literally like a 4 or 5 minute walk, and we can be inside of a large shopping mall. You went to Maya, didn't you? Maya Shopping Mall, Shelly?
I think we might have.
Yeah. So we've got the movie theaters there and Starbucks and the shopping mall and food. So it's like a 4 or 5 minute walk to there. So yeah, I would just walk and go up there. That's what I used to do. But now I'm just sitting here.
Sitting by the dock of the... There is something very therapeutic and calming about water. So sometimes I find if I can be near water, on a boat, anything like that, go to a lake, go to a river, go to any of that kind of stuff. For me, I don't know what it is, but I feel a little bit more tranquil when I'm around water.
Water does that, and mountains do that to me as well. I love mountains and water.
Yes, I totally agree.
Hey,
with
Doug.
You. Hey, Doug,
Jr.
It's nice to see you. I would love to know from you in the comments, for those of you who are watching, and if you haven't yet, please leave a like on this video and say some nice words about D. You know what? I would love, please do this. Say your favorite things about D. Please say where you found him, how he's inspired you. Just say
found
something.
Me in the gutter.
No, I'm serious now. I want
that's
you,
so sweet. Thank
all
you.
the 15 of you that are watching, I want you to flood the comment section with things that you love about D, so that he can read them and he can get a nice little serotonin boost. And if he wants to, he can come back and screenshot them and start his own folder of feel goods. So everyone who's out there still watching, there's 15 of you, or one of them's me. Start saying some nice things about D, and it's totally fine if you have more than one. If there's videos that you've loved of his, if there's something that he said to you, if there's something that's helped you, just start leaving comments about it so he can come back and read it.
That's so kind. Thank you.
It's not kind. It's come on now. I mean, people have so many nice things to say about you. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna capitalize.
Because they don't know me.
D is the best.
That's because they haven't gotten to know me yet.
Okay, he says his personality, his taste in music, the skateboarder, and the snowboarder. Ooh.
There you go, man. There you go.
Yes, I love that. Okay, come on, you guys, keep giving it to him. Give it. He says D. Niman is my spirit animal. He says I found.
Here's a little fun fact about snowboarding. So the last time I was snowboarding, it was quite a while ago. I was in Ligier, France. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And this massive snowstorm came in. It was me and another guy. We're both very experienced snowboarders, and they shut the. Yeah, very, very experienced. Yeah, I was actually going to go pro for skateboarding, but I blew my knee out. So yeah, skateboarding, snowboarding.
The things that you learn about your friends when you're on live streams with them. This has happened to me so many times where I'm like, I'm on a live stream I'm like, oh yeah, I'm an Olympian, and you're like, excuse me, what?
Very, very experienced. They shut the mountain down because this freak snowstorm came in, and we were all the way at the top of this mountain. They shut the lift down. They cleared everybody off the mountain, and it was snowing so hard for so many hours you couldn't see a foot in front of you. So they thought everybody was off the mountain, and me and this other guy, we actually got stuck up on the mountain. We were up there for hours and hours and hours, and we were like, we're gonna die up here if we don't get down. They thought we were down, so we actually snowboarded down in the entire mountain with like maybe 3-foot visibility in a complete snowstorm, and it took us, I don't know how many hours it took to get down, but it was we ended up getting back to the lodge at like 2:00 in the morning. And people, they couldn't believe that we were still up there. It was crazy. Yeah,
that is nuts. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And then we left, and I think 3 days later, the whole place got demolished by an avalanche. Wow. Timing. Yeah, timing.
Timing of life, man. Right? That is crazy. Oh my gosh. He says, let's see here. D is the best.
You guys are saying some kind things. Thank you. Hey, Android stud.
Yeah. D gives feedback without filter, which I like, but I can't stand you eating pineapple on pizza. First of all, I'm about to ban you because pineapple on pizza is the best, and I will. Oh, you guys are too nice. I will die on that hill. So D, if you're a pineapple on pizza fan, which I know you are, see, it's just another reason you are my friend. So
I'm having it tomorrow.
I remember I was like, get some pineapple on that pizza when you were celebrating 100K. I mean, you were like, yeah, I'm gonna get some pizza. He says, I found D through Nick. He seems honest. Awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. That's
he
kind.
Says, I love his down-to-earth personality. He says, snowboarding is amazing. You got tons of hearts. And he says, let's see here. I found him through Twitter first and then Nick, not the other way around. Awesome. Pixelbia says, I don't know where I found D, but I appreciate his sense of humor, his music taste, how he is sharing his experiences, and his time for us that are small on YouTube, his encouragement, and how he shares himself.
Oh, you guys are too kind.
Right? D is one half of a bunch of great duos on YouTube, team player, knowledgeable, awesome dude. So, right, you're one half of the duo with Daniel, one half of the duo with Nick, one half of the duo with me, right? So...
Bring in the half wherever I go. Bring in 50% wherever I go.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys are too kind. Thank you.
Yes. I'm so glad. You guys, if you have multiple things, keep saying it. You want some funk? I don't have as much funk as D does, but I'll play you something. Let me give you something here. Give me a second. Here we go. This is the same one as the super chat, but it is someone accused. It was James. He was being a troublemaker last week, and he was accusing me of copying your sound. And I'm like, first of all, D does not own funk. Second of all,
I do. I actually do. So I regret. I regret.
You regret nothing.
You
and second, I was saying that this is more of a rock sound and not funk, and so I was like, James Pruitt, you shut your mouth. This one's for D. In the audience, would you say that is funk or would you say that that's rock? I have always said that one is kind of rock. So that's groove rock. That's rock with a groove to it. Right? I would agree with rock that, but it is not funk. Yeah. It is not funk. So we've got pineapple and pizza.
It's got a groove. It's not funk.
Yeah, exactly. So James Pruitt, I know you're out there still. Laughing faces all over. You heard it from the man himself over here. He's saying that basically shut your mouth. Awesome. Okay. I am paraphrasing. It's funky rock. Okay, I could go with it's funky rock. Okay. Yes. Wait. Okay,
Kinda
but
grew
we've gotten
too.
away from the things. I want you guys to keep saying nice things about D. Say
Oh,
nice
come
things
on now.
about D. I want you to do that for
Come
him.
on. Come on. You're so sweet. That's so kind. Thank you, everybody.
Everyone should have that because you should start your own folder. You should absolutely, and I don't know if you use it, but I use
I'm gonna
Word
be
Cloud in TubeBuddy. That one has been helpful to me because the more times a word is used, the bigger it is. And so I get like helpful, grateful, thank you. And I'm like, at least that kind of like makes me like a quick hit, but like I go back to my folder a lot.
my word cloud. I open it up and it says like old, gray hair, daddy. And then I close it right back down.
That's really funny. See, this is another reason why you need your own folder. Hey, everybody out there, if
Yeah.
you're listening, I know there's only a few of you left, but you need to be throwing some nice comments D's way because this is the real core audience. This is the real OGs. Say some nice things about D. Oh, D has awesome hair.
I'm taking screenshots of all of this.
Well, no, yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah,
you have,
these are
I'm
great.
sure, a ton of great comments on your channel as well. Your audience seems very, very, like, very nice to you. And I love that
most of them are.
your answers are fairly consistent from like year over year. You know, it's about music, getting away from your screen. I can't even tell you, I think how many of the times, it was probably the overwhelming majority was like, I have to get away from my phone. And I think you're right on that sometimes social media is just so awful. It's so awful.
Well,
We feel this need to be on it, but it's awful for us. It's a cycle.
Ed brought up a very good point, that it can be poison, but it's also a tool. And that's absolutely true. I mean, we're all doing what we're doing now because of social media. And I'm not saying it's all bad, but I think it's, okay, here's the thing. Everyone has a voice now. Everyone in the entire world, you now have a voice. If you've got a phone and you have access to an internet connection, you have a voice. I don't care if you're in Bangladesh. I don't care if you're in Toronto. I don't care if you're in Aruba. I don't care. Wherever it is, you have a voice now. So because of that, I think it's super important, and I think it needs to be here. At the same time, I don't know how I feel about things like, like maybe we should just disable comments. Like maybe we should rethink how some of the features interact on some of these platforms, because I think it should be used for good. It should be used as a tool. It should not be used to bully people. It should not be used to spread hate or misinformation. It should not be used to just spread negativity. I think we need to figure out ways to filter that stuff out, in mass.
No, I think you're totally right on. And
Exactly.
I really feel like people should not be allowed to comment unless they can verify who they are. Because I think that anything that people can say online, they should be able to be held accountable for them. And I think too many people get a little too brave behind a keyboard and they forget that real people are on the other side of those screens reading those comments. It's not okay because we're not unfeeling robots that just continue to make content for you to consume. We are real people. We're dealing with real problems. We've got like family, we've got friend issues, we've got work issues. And the fact that we keep continuing to show up and put ourselves online, and for you to shit all over that and then just be like, no big deal, I'm just having some fun. And I'm just like, no, dude, like seriously, like you are making it so that we don't want to show up. Like,
for me, here's the people I really feel bad for. Okay, like you and I were doing it. Zach's in here, he's doing it. Doug Houston's doing it. Ed's in here, he's doing it. Pixel P is doing it. James is like, everybody in here, like we're making it, one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. The thing that really breaks my heart, and Shelly, I know you've seen this too as an educator. You have the people who leave the comments, or they come into your live streams and they're like, "Yeah, I was doing YouTube, but the comments were mean, so I quit."
Oh my gosh, so many times.
That's just so heartbreaking, because I'm just like, man, like you have to power through that. And I hate the fact that strangers on the internet are stopping people from doing the things that they want to do.
Right.
And that's where I think the poison comes in. I wish we could find a way around that.
Right. If you didn't want to, like, the fact is, like, we're so mean to ourselves, and we're so afraid that the negative comments that we're going to read are really just a reflection and affirmation of the worst things that we've thought about ourselves. We're fat, we're ugly, we're stupid. I cannot tell you how many times I get, you talk too fast, you don't speak English, you're, whatever it is. And it's just like, that's it. This is what everybody in the world thinks about me, and this is why I can't be on YouTube. And that would, for a lot of people, it just runs them right off the platform. And like, Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, Zach said something in the chat that I agree with 1,000%. He says, I'm always afraid that I might offend someone if I word something wrong or if they read it the wrong way. Dude, I can't tell you how many times I've deleted tweets or I didn't hit send on something. I've deleted Facebook posts. I didn't go up on stage in a clubhouse room. So many times I've deleted a comment. Like Shelly, I think you and I actually had this conversation early on. And Nick and I are kind of in a weird position. Nick and I have both lived. I've lived out of the United States. I've lived in Southeast Asia for 20 years. I think Nick's been over there for 18 years. We're so disconnected from what's happening in the Western world. Just how you guys interact with each other, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. It's not that we don't agree with it. It's just that we're not up to speed on a lot of this stuff because Southeast Asia, man, it's a different planet over there. Like they speak differently. They don't have those boundaries. They don't use pronouns. If they think your skin's too dark, they'll tell you your skin's too dark. There's it's a different thing over there. So I'm constantly in this stage where I'm just like, man, am I saying the wrong thing? Am I going to address them the wrong way? Am I going to say, I have this fear in the back of my head at all times. Anytime I'm saying something during a live stream or during a video, or I'm answering a comment, or I'm saying something, I just have this fear because cancel culture is just, it's trash. I think cancel culture is terrible and fake rage is terrible.
And but that's where we're living.
Look at the Clubhouse thing. The whole Mr. Beast was a racist. Wherever you fall on that, I think that the whole thing was absurd. But that's exactly the stuff that I'm talking about. For me, I'm so disconnected with what's happening in the Western world. I look at a lot of people back in the West and I'm just like, you guys are just fragile. What happened? When I left, things weren't like this. What happened? But I understand that that's the way things are now. But because of that, because of the life that I actually live in day to day, we don't talk like that over there. It's just not how they communicate. So Zach, dude, that fear is in the back of my head 24 hours a day, anytime I'm on social media. Because I don't want to get canceled for something that I didn't even mean,
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, so hold on one second. We got a super chat from our friend Zach Tux Tech.
There he is.
Zach, by the way, I am a member over on your channel, and I couldn't go over to your members only live stream because I was on this live stream. So I appreciate you popping in, which I guess that means that your live stream is over. But that means, we got to boogie and do a little dance break. So I'll try and pick a short song, but we'll see how it goes.
Do you have Epidemic Sound?
I use the TubeBuddy library from Audio Hero. So I just download a whole bunch of beats per minute or different type electronic sounds.
I was going to lay down the funk, but I can't do that.
Oh, were you?
Okay.
Oh.
I was going to.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Breaking Out of Here. I don't know what this means. Oh, wait. I got to figure out how to bring you onto the screen for the dance break. 1 second.
That's all right.
Okay, I'll just overlay on this one. I got to figure out how to do this. The rainbow spinning wheel of death. I'm still here. I think you're under the sea now, buddy. You're in it. You're in it. I find people it's easier to dance when you're under the sea. Oh, he says he has to go. He has a WandaVision date. I just finished WandaVision, the last episode that came out from last Friday. It's a good one. We'll pause that.
Throw it back. Come on, throw it back. There you go. There you go.
I don't even know where my song is anymore. Here we go. Let's turn that one off. By the way, I don't know if you know this. Let me see if I can turn off my little dance break. So that file I made in Final Cut Pro, and I was exporting with an alpha layer, and it is like a good 3 gig video file size. But I found out that you can go through QuickTime, make it HEVC, maintain alpha transparency, and it like turned into like a 300 megabyte file. So it just like shrunk that sucker down to a tiny one and still has the transparency. And I was like, genius.
Is that the video that you made? I haven't watched it yet. I put it in my watch later about shrinking the file size.
Sure,
that was the
you're
one?
going to watch it. Yeah, it was the one on Sunday.
I saw it.
File.
I saw it, yeah.
No, that's good. Because I was like, it comes in so handy because so many times, like when you're using any streaming software and you've got these animated overlays, sometimes I'll export them from Keynote and they're like these 4444 MOV
Yeah, that's like
files.
the ProRes.
Yeah, and they're
yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
And so I was able to shrink it down with QuickTime, which is free. So I don't have to have compressor and it still has the alpha transparency. Like, I was like, sweet. Sorry for geeking out there for a second. Oh, did we have some nice comments? I know we have some. Let's go back.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't
Too
know,
kind. You guys
we're
are too
saying
kind.
nice comments about D so that we can build up his feel good folder because he's gonna take some screenshots maybe later. So you guys, if you didn't know that, bombard the chat with nice comments about D. You don't have to say anything about my dancing skills or the music choices, but you say nice things about D. So it says, oh, Adam's exploit says, D, you are a handsome guy.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there's that. That's nice, right? You can't like walk away from that and be like, I don't feel good about
That's
myself.
how I make money over on Twitch.
Right? He says, just for Kids TV says, thank you, D, for speaking up for all of us. And
oh, you're talking about the fear of saying something wrong?
I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
They were saying nice things. So Matt Carve says, I found D in lockdown and he was super positive and you're still doing it while stuck in Mexico. So power to you. And
Thanks,
Pixel
Matt.
says, D Nimmin, you look like Poseidon now.
Underwater.
Kind of reminds me of Daft
guys.
Punk. Okay, but here's the thing is like Daft Punk broke up after 28 years and it's hitting me in my feels because Daft Punk, I was actually talking with my husband about this and I was like, Random Access Memories
Yes.
is such a good album. Instant Crush is one of my absolute favorites and the entire song intro where he's talking about my name is George, you know, do you know that song? Where he's talking about the electronics, and he was talking about his story about when he was a DJ growing up in Germany. He would basically sleep in his car because there wasn't a lot of times in these small little shows, in these small little clubs. And he goes through this entire story, and he's like, that's what you had to do. That's because I loved it, and I wanted to do it. And I would go to these places and sleep in my car, and he's like, you know, my name is Giorgio, blah, 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 but, you know me as George, and he's the one half of Daft Punk, and I remember being so, like, in love with listening to that story at the beginning of the song, before the song started, that I was always like, this is amazing. Like, he's literally telling us, you know, this story about himself. It's so powerful, and a lot of people don't listen to that part, and he's like, no, I literally slept in my car, you know, and I would play, 15-minute sets and still sleep in my car. That's how important it was to me. So
yeah, it's a fantastic album.
it's absolutely hands down my favorite Daft Punk album of any of them that they made, and of course everyone knows like Get Lucky, but Instant Crush was still absolutely one of my favorites, and My Name is George. Those are my jam. So yeah, but it's funny, like if you think about 28 years that they were together.
That's a long time.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw it, but I was on TikTok, and I have noticed that you have not been posting on TikTok.
I've taken a TikTok break.
Yeah, what's up with
that? So here's what happened. You know how the algorithm there figured, it's really good.
Oh, the
right?
Still Mexico thing?
Well, that's the upload thing, but I haven't been able to get a US SIM card yet. But what happened was I got sucked into and I'm not going to say the word because I don't want the thing here, but the thing that's crippled the world right now. Mm-hmm. I got sucked into a rabbit hole of content on that from like actual doctors and nurses and epidemiologists and stuff like that. And I got sucked into the comment stuff with people who were just beating my soul down. I was like, you know what? So what happened was I was watching a lot of that content because there's some great scientists on there, great doctors giving you up-to-date information about what's happened, vaccines.
And then they keep feeding you.
And yes, and then every time I open it up, it's like, here's 1,000 videos of this stuff. And then the comment section was just a dumpster fire in all of them. I'm like, you know what? I need to step away for a while. So I've taken a bit of a break.
I get it.
Yeah.
I did love though that you know how they give you like the year-end review.
I haven't gotten that on TikTok.
Oh no, this was at the close of the year they were like here's your year-end review, and it says like you've liked however many videos, and like they were like you really seem to like these types of videos, and it was like dogs and like homecomings and like engagements, and I was like yup, I love those things, and there it was just kind of funny, like reaffirming, and they're like, you really like these things, and I'm like, you know me so well, which is why you keep showing me these things. So I can imagine if you went down a spiral of videos of that,
I did.
It could go
That's weird.
a bad way.
I didn't get that. I didn't get the year in review. I don't know if that's like an American thing or whatever. I didn't get that. Interesting.
I don't know. Anyone out there who's on TikTok, did you get a year-end review? I think I might have even like put mine on my, because they had the option to share it to your profile. So
nope, definitely didn't get that. All of my communication with them is in Spanish. All the settings are in Spanish. If you go into like the filters and stuff like that, I actually get different filters that you guys don't get.
Did you join the TikTok partner program, whatever you want to call it, creator fund?
No, it's not. It's not eligible to me here.
You really do need a US SIM card.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to send you one? Like, can I help you with this? I don't know. Like, I think I offered before. I don't know if I know you were gonna meet up with Phil and like meet at the border. I don't know if that happened, but like.
Yeah, it did. I met up with him at the border, but I couldn't get a SIM card. I tried to get one, and I just couldn't get one that was going to work out. So that's okay. I'm good. I'm good. You know, TikTok's not going to go anywhere.
No, it's not. That's just weird, though. It's so weird how that works. Like,
well, if you remember when you came to Thailand, your TikTok was completely different than my TikTok.
Yes, it was.
You remember that?
I do.
Yeah, so they're obviously rolling different stuff out to different countries, so which is I find that really interesting.
Have you gotten the in-app shorts camera yet?
I don't have it. My brother has it.
Okay, because I was like, I have it on one of my 5 channels, but they did say that it's coming in March. You know, to North America.
That's how my brother got it. So my brother has it on his smallest channel. Like it's just some random channel that's like not even active, and they gave him the shorts camera.
I have a vertical video channel, and it's not even available on that channel. It's available on my beauty channel. Just like, why?
Here's the funny thing. I'm part of a group where I give feedback and I do regular calls with the team that's responsible for developing the YT Studio app, and they're responsible for the entire upload procedure on the YouTube app, and they're partly responsible for YouTube Shorts. I do regular calls with them. I do meetings with them.
Do you really? That's amazing. How'd you get into that?
They hit me up out of the blue. They watched one of my videos. Well, the main guy watched one of my videos, and he hit me up, and he was like, "Hey, I watched your video, and you're doing this for YouTube, and we would love to have you on the team too." I don't get paid for it, but I get access in terms of like they tell me what's coming. I know a lot of stuff that's in the pipeline that I can't talk about. But they were supposed to hook me up with the shorts camera, but they didn't.
And they didn't.
So
can they like find this one, like my Google account, and be like, "Hey, this one, gets
yeah." So our next conversation is going to be an interesting one. Like, come on, guys! I've done like how many calls with you, and you can't hook me up with the camera? You said you were going to.
I know it's kind of messed up, right? Did you know that there's a blog now that you can subscribe to?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I have it in. I think I talked about YouTube Shorts a couple videos ago, but if anyone is now watching that, I linked the blog where you can sign up for notifications, as well as the 2 different blog posts that they've already created, I believe, or like their information about it. So you can find it in that video, but there is an actual blog if you want to subscribe to updates about YouTube Shorts specifically, and it came from their Creator Insider video where they were talking about how to sign up for it. So just FYI, I thought that was really interesting.
Speaking of the YT Studio app, most people in here should have it by today. If you go into the revenue, if you're in the partner program, if you go into each individual video and you go into revenue, you're going to see a new metric called RPM. So previously that was just in the desktop version. So now you're going to get your CPM and you're going to get your RPM. Your RPM is actually what you take home. So your CPM is what
the advertisers pay.
Yeah, but then your RPM is what you actually make.
Get.
So that that's what you actually take home. So that you guys should have that as of today.
Oh,
if not, I'm in a world If not, I'm in a lot of trouble.
Yes, I have it. Amazing. And I think
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had
yeah.
done a video before about like what's the difference between CPM and RPM, and it is in the video what YouTube paid me for 1 million views or something like that. Trying to help explain what RPM and CPM, because it gets very confusing. There's a lot of acronyms that YouTube throws around, like CTR and average view duration and all of that stuff. But cost per mille, which is really when people talk about cost per 1,000 views, and CPM has always been talked about, but RPM has not. And RPM takes into account basically super chats, stickers, any kind of that information, and it's actually then the stripped down version of what you get versus what the advertisers are paying. So it's an interesting metric that can change at any given day, at any given time, because of conditions. Could be holiday related, it could be anything related. So it could be an amazing spike, beautiful thing that happens for your video over time. So it's an interesting concept. If you guys ever want to check that out, please do. But it's interesting, it's fascinating.
So I'm glad you said that. So how much did you make for 1 million views?
It was probably, I'm guesstimating here, it was probably like $2,600, something like that.
So I'm looking, I've actually never looked on this one. So my top video, 1.6 million views. So pushing 2 million views. And let me check my lifetime. I've actually never looked at this. It's made $2,975.72.
And mine was not off a single video. It was a conglomeration of 10 different videos that equaled up to, because I think my top performing video is maybe 300,000. So I was also trying to go through probably my top performing videos in terms of views. And I was saying like this video where you think like, hey, I've got all these views, but it turned out my CPM was 12 cents. Because it was a green screen type video. It had tons of views on it, but like no money coming in. I made like very little off that. And then I had a video that was off of the touch retouch. And I think the CPM on that was like, let's say, I don't know, offhand, like $6. But then I made a YouTube tutorial on iMovie something, and it was $2. And I was like, why am I still making videos just on iMovie? Because this doesn't pay me very well. You know, I'm like, this doesn't even make sense. So some of these things are kind of making decisions where some of these channels, even financial channels, they could have an RPM or CPM of $30, $40, $50. They don't need to drive tons of views to make as much money as someone with, you know, 1 million views on the same video. They could make the same or more because their RPM is so much higher. So views alone is not indicative of how much money anyone is making on YouTube.
Correct. There's so many variables that go into that. So many variables.
Oh, for sure.
So there's a question in the chat from Adam's Exploit. It says, question D, do you think TubeBuddy might add more features to the less expensive versions? I cannot afford $36 for Legend, things such as A/B testing. Oh, here's the thing. So TubeBuddy was purchased by another company.
By Ben.
I know some things that they were talking about before the purchase. A/B testing is not going to go into one of the lower tier things because it costs money for them to do that, because they have to use YouTube's API, and you use the API too much, you got to pay more money. There's a lot involved. That's why more features come with a higher tier. But since they've been purchased, I don't know what's happening. I know we were working with them very closely on redesigning. We've completely redesigned their app to, I don't know if the app's going to see the light of day now, but I know prior to the purchase, the app was going to be the most amazing thing you've ever seen in your life. But now I don't know.
I've made a few suggestions.
I don't know anymore.
You know, hey, can you give us the ability to tweet out the photo, and you know, like you see from the desktop version? Can you give us the ability to do certain things? And I was saying on a call with Rob, I was like, hey, can you at least throw in channel reviews, which is a $19 thing if you're, you know, a TubeBuddy member. And like, I think you should throw that into Legend once a quarter as like something, as like a perk, because sometimes, a lot of the time, it may not be worth it to people to jump up to Legend only to have the A/B feature. I was like, you need to throw more features at it. And I get it, the API is expensive, but I feel like at least the click magnet is awesome. But I was like, I was like, but the channel reviews thing, I'm like, I feel like once per quarter is enough at the $19 thing to throw into the Legend version to make it worth it to people, because I just think it's valuable to have that much information at your fingertips. And I was like, it would be really cool to see that included, but you know, they don't have to listen to us.
Yeah. So Adam, I'm completely out of the loop now. You know, I'm 100% out of the loop. I know what was going on before the purchase, after the purchase. I don't even know who to talk to over there anymore. So
I will say they
I don't know.
have still a lot of great people over there. I still love them with my whole heart, and I still recommend them, which is funny because, and this is just a personal between you and me aside, you, me, and the internet and the 15 people watching, is that I know for a fact that some people make so much money with the affiliate thing
Oh yeah.
who don't even probably necessarily believe in the service or use their competitor behind the scenes. And I'm just like, I actually use the service every single freaking day. I am talking about the cool things. I've made videos on the things, and I think I have like 3 licenses that I get. Like, it is the most abysmal, and it's not about the money, but it's just kind of like a little disheartening, just like you said earlier, where sometimes like you're making videos or content or whatever on a particular subject, and you're just like, everyone else is doing like really awesome at it, and you're just like, oh, I'm the odd man out, even though I love it.
Yeah, I don't do well with them affiliate wise, because the majority, I think 89% of my viewers are watching from a phone.
Yeah.
And their app, it just, people have a hard time justifying the upgrade on the app based on the features that it has. And you know, a lot of my audience, they'll go nuts if I upload a video about an app that's like $1.99. This thing costs $1.99. Are you out of your mind?
I'm like,
So,
no,
like-
I'm not. Yeah, no, I've had that before too, because I think I recommended something like InShot, and like InShot has like a watermark, you know, unless you pay $1.99 to remove it. And I'm just like, then pay $1.99. Like, not everything in the world can be free. And for a long time, I was held prisoner by this whole, like, iMovie is at least free. And then someone else was like, girl, slap you across the face. A Mac is like $2,000 to start with or whatever. And I was just like, oh, but I've been price gating myself into only talking about free software programs. And then like people get mad when I talk about Final Cut Pro because it's a software program you have to pay for. So it's like I've dug myself into a hole about talking about a free software program. But it's just like, but it's not just about that. I want to talk to you guys about like video editing in itself. Jump cut is a theory. It can be done in any single program. It can be done in Video Slice, VLLO, iMovie,
right.
Final Cut Pro. That doesn't change. The mechanics of it don't really change. It's just like the specifics of it inside of the app is what's different. But I'm like, I'm talking to you guys about video editing, not just iMovie, you know, so it's tough sometimes.
Yeah, I get eaten alive in my comments from time to time over stuff like that, you know. And I understand some people are not, especially if you're watching from certain regions of the world where, you know, $5 might be a lot of money to you, or $3 might be a lot of money to you. But when I get those, excuse me, when I get comments like that from like Canada or the US, and like, I'm not paying $1.99, I'm like, well, you're going to fail. Like if you can't invest $2 into your online
into your
business,
craft, into what
you're not going to make it.
To get like AdSense money from. And I'm like,
right.
Maybe if you're monetized and stuff, maybe that $100 that you got from, and I was talking to about this today in Clubhouse, and I was like, when I first got started, Vid Summit 2018, you may or may not have been at this conversation. I was sitting next to Jason from Painfully Honest Tech, and I was telling him like my greatest like goal right now, because I was less than 800 subscribers, is like, I really want to get to the point where in 1 month I can get paid out in AdSense, because there was 1 month where it took 3 months and I was at $99 and something cents. And I was like, I want to cry. 3 months, because you have to get over 100. So I had to wait 4 months to get that payout. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I remember that moment and that feeling, and I was just like, here's the thing is, let's say you made $100. If I could invest back the $2 to remove watermarks from InShot, I would do it, because it's investing back into my business of YouTube. And I feel like some people are like, oh, I can't believe that you would, you know, like advertise or talk to us about something that's $1.99. And I'm like, I can't control your wallet. You don't have to buy it, but I'm saying this is a cool tool. Or you can deal with a watermark. You know, and it's tough. Yeah. It's really tough.
Yeah. I again, like that, I do understand there are some situations where they're just completely tight. But at the same time, you know, there's a lot of places where, you know, just, can you not drink Starbucks today? And then you can get the app. Like, you know what I mean? Can you skip the latte today, and then you can pay for the app?
And it's so true. People don't ever think about that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I pay $2.99 for an extra 100 gigabytes of cloud data. but
On
I'm
Google.
drinking
Yeah.
coffee only,
Yeah.
from home, and I'm not buying Starbucks, and I'm staying home. And like, that is a business expense, and it's a cost of doing business sometimes, and like,
Yep.
I also like to think of it. I was talking today a little earlier about if I was in the mindset of the person who was at the goal that I want, would you think that spending $1.99 per month or whatever it is like a hindrance or like a thing to your business, or it's just a necessary thing? It's just a cost of doing business. And it's like, if you want to think and earn and be like this person who's making tons of money or having this success, then maybe you also need to be in the mindset that it's okay to spend some money on yourself, on your business, on your craft, on in payback. So it's a mental mind shift that people have to change, that a lot of people have a really hard time grappling with.
Yeah, Zane brings up a good point. This is exactly the point I was talking about, but I understand different regions. He says in South Asia, most middle class make $2 a day. It makes sense. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. When I have people, a lot of my viewers come from places like Bangladesh or India or Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, and places like that. And I understand that there's certain regions and certain, middle class and stuff like that over there where people are definitely struggling, and that's a lot of money. So I give them a break. I totally give them a break. But when you're writing me from, your name is like Jim Clark, and I look at your channel and you're in like Boston, and you got, I'm just like, come on, man, you can spend $1.99. Come on.
And I get
Come
it.
on,
Like,
Jim.
some people don't want to spend the money, but it's like there's probably always a workaround. The cost benefit analysis you have to take is it worth your time? Can I do the thing that makes it so that I can have this thing for free, or is it worth $2 for me to get rid of this thing so that I don't have to do that? And that's a decision that everyone has to make for themselves. But I would say that most of the time, if you're thinking in an abundance mindset, you're probably thinking $2 is like a cost of doing business. And when you're coming from a scarcity type of mindset, you think that every single thing, is taking away from. And instead of being like, what does this $2 get me? What can I, grow or benefit? Is it, getting me back $2.50? All of a sudden it's a net positive of 50 cents. It's harder for people who are in that scarcity mindset to actually grapple with the concept of like, sometimes you have to spend some money to make some money. And I get being scrappy and being cheap, not cheap, but like frugal. And, I tell people all the time, I'm like, you can get a Google domain for $12. You can hook up a blogger site or a sites.google.whatever, and it's basically free. And you can have the cheapest hosting you've ever seen in your entire life, but you are still going to have people who are complaining about spending $12 for the domain. You know what I mean? And it's just like, do you want to have a website where you can have your own, your own domain, have embedded videos, have blog posts if you want, have backlinks to your stuff, or do you think it's not worth $12? And it's hard to sometimes have that conversation with people because I can't manage your wallet and I can't explain the value to you. You have to be able to do that for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the reasons I like to put a good amount of videos out there for Android users specifically that are free, because I know I have that audience in those parts of the world. Because what I don't want them to do, and man, I get so many comments on this. We're like, well, you just go to this website and download this APK, which is pretty much the cracked app. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, no, don't do that, right? I'm trying to stop people from downloading cracked apps and pirated apps. Not because I don't think you should. I mean, whatever, more, or you can't afford it. You can't afford it. I get that. But like, I don't want you to get a virus. I don't want you to get your YouTube channel hacked, because in a lot of those APKs and a lot of those cracked apps, there's malware inside of those. There's key loggers and things. And that's how a lot of channels end up getting hacked. Yeah. So I'm just like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Here's a free solution in order to do that. You can't pay $1.99 if you're in Bangladesh. I get it. It's cool. Here's 5 free options. Go use those. Don't use the cracked version.
Yeah. I'm like, but you're also on a smartphone and you have to have access to internet. So, I mean, like, there's money being spent somewhere, whether it's on the phone, whether it's on the service, whether it's on internet. It's just being able to prioritize. And I can't speak for everyone and control their wallets, but sometimes you have to do that cost benefit analysis and decide, is this worth it to you or not? And one of the last points that we never got to is, how do you know when it's actually time to give up? because sometimes YouTube depresses you to the point where you're just like, F it, I want to give up. How do you know when sometimes you should listen to yourself and be like, yes, this is the time I need to walk away, either for my mental health, for my family's health, or just for the fact that like I'm not finding success, I'm unfulfilled from it. Like, when do you decide like enough is enough? Because on YouTube, no one is necessarily going to tell you. They'll just let you keep uploading videos forever.
When's enough's enough? I think when you, man, there's so many different ways to look at this. I don't look at myself. I mean, I get it. I am a YouTuber, but I'm at my core, I'm a maker. I love to make stuff. I could be building a cosplay outfit, or I could be building a studio, or I could be building I just like to make stuff. Whatever it is, I just like to make things. It could be videos or whatever. When is it time to give up? For me, it's there's never a time for me to give up. I just make something different, right? There will probably come a time where I just don't want to make YouTube videos anymore, and I think that's okay. I think that's okay.
Totally okay.
Yeah, if you're at the stage where you're just like, hey, I've been doing this, but here's the thing. This is where people sell themselves short. I can't tell you how many channels I've looked at or how many people have come to me and said, D, I'm doing all of the things. I subscribe to Dare Leaves. I subscribe to your brother Nick. I subscribe to Brian G. Johnson. And
no one is ever doing
so
all
on
the
and
things.
so forth. And everybody, I'm doing all the things, but I'm not growing. And you look at their channel and they've got like 20 videos and they're not doing any of the things. Some people think that learning by listening, by paying attention is doing the stuff. You actually have to implement the stuff.
Yes.
And so before you throw in the towel, you have to give yourself an honest assessment and say, am I truly doing all of the things? And have I given this enough time? If you've got 20 videos, no, you're just quitting because you can't hack it. But if you've got 1,000 videos on the platform and you've been doing it for years and you truly are doing all of the things, and maybe you've paid for someone like Daniel Battelle to give you a deep dive channel audit. All right. Maybe you've truly done all of the things and it's just not working. Maybe it's because you're just awkward in front of the camera. Maybe
and
the topics
a lot.
Maybe you're the best podcaster that the world has not yet
maybe
heard.
You're on the wrong medium. Maybe
exactly.
You're supposed to be on
video
podcasts
might not be
or
your
write
thing.
blogs.
Video might not be your thing.
Yes.
You might be a blogger. You might be the best podcaster. You might be a 10 million TikToker waiting to blow up and you're just not on the platform yet. So in terms of giving up, you have to truly understand that am I really doing all of the things? And if the answer is yes, then it could be that YouTube might not be your thing. But go try other things. Try all the other things. Go try all the other things.
Yes, because I'm saying so many of the times people think I failed at YouTube as if it is the be all end all, and maybe it is just one platform where you can put content. It could be that you are an amazing podcaster. Think about like Pat Flynn and the godfather of podcasting. He only threw his hat into YouTube in this last year. Think about some of these people where like Andrew Edwards started as a tech blog. He only ever started YouTube videos so that he had something to embed into his blog post. He now has like 300,000 subscribers and makes way more money than any of us because of working with brands, because he's hella smart about all of that stuff. And so I'm saying, like, yes, YouTube is great, but it is not the end destination for all people. And sometimes that is totally okay. But before we go too much further, we had a super chat and we have to boogie and we have to say nice things from Adam. He says, Shelly, I love D. He is probably the most approvable YouTube content creator personalities that I know. He tries to connect with everyone in his chat.
Oh, thank you, Adam.
If that doesn't make you want to dance, I don't know what will. So here we're going to pick a song. We're going to boogie real quick as a thank you to Adam.
Thank you.
And I'll find my bubbles. Give me seconds. My overlays. I feel like being under the sea makes people less shy because like you're hidden by bubbles and dancing rays. You're not dancing. I see you. that one. It's not bad. It's kind of like, I have a lot of like electronic sounds.
Doesn't groove as hard as the other one.
No, I mean, I have some that are definitely, you want to groove a little bit harder. I find this one that's called Belly Dancer, which has a little bit slower of a start, but then like kind of drops in with the bass. So I'm going to give you this one real quick.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. Are you ready for the, I mean, I got some good ones. Don't come at me for my musical selections. Rude.
Oh yeah, that works.
Right? Good. Oh, it's so funny. Pixel Pia says, Belly Dancer is great. See, they've been in enough streams. They know some of the songs. So we will do Into Club for the next super chat if one happens to pop through. That one has a nice little bass beat that drops. But yeah, you get it. So
Too kind.
Stop coming at me for my musical selections. I like them.
Too kind. Hey, listen, I have to get out of here.
Okay.
It was an
No,
absolute
me too.
pleasure coming on the stream with you. And I want to thank every single person in the chat. You guys just made my night. All the kind things that you said. That was totally unexpected. Shelly, thank you for that.
No, absolutely.
Everybody in the chat, you are all just too kind. That definitely refueled the tank.
Good. Actually, you know what? Everyone
So,
should go to
thank
his
you.
latest video, watch it, and leave a nice comment, because he may not come back to this particular live stream, because why would he? But he can definitely take screenshots on his
I've been
channel.
taking screenshots. I've been taking screenshots.
Oh,
As
shut
you see
up,
my
really?
eyes going down. Oh yeah. I'm
Oh,
like,
no, I had no idea. No, but still, go leave a nice comment on his last video so that he can screenshot that and put it in his feel-good folder, because he deserves it. He deserves it.
Aw,
Thank you
you
for
guys
being
are
here
too
with me.
kind.
That was really, really nice.
yeah, you know, usually when because you've asked me a couple of times to come on, and
And you
know how
always
it
say
is.
no.
Like, I'm always like right in the middle of something, and I'm just like, oh man, I would love to, but I can't. But like, this time, I was just like, yeah, I just walked in. I was like, oh yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
You know what's funny is I
Perfect.
said in this this morning in the live stream that in the Podfest presentation, I was saying sometimes a no just means not right now. And I'm like, sometimes the collabs take longer. It just means not right now. So see, you were just a not right now.
It usually means not right now.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
But
everyone.
I know you hurt me. I hurt you too.
Yeah, of course. You know, everyone's busy. Everyone's busy. Everybody's got their own stuff to do, and the universe is weird about timing. Like, you know, like usually no one wants to talk to me until I'm getting ready to eat, or I'm getting ready to actually, you know, I've got planned time where I'm going to watch, you know, WandaVision with my girlfriend or whatever. Like, nobody wants to talk to me until it's like I'm getting ready to start something, and I'm just like, come on.
The universe knows,
Come on.
man. It knows.
It does. It's tempting you. It's trying to pull you away from those things. It's like, no, get
It's
back
like
in front of the
testing
screen.
you. If you're like, oh, you said you wanted to spend quality time with people, I'm going to test you by giving you opportunities to not spend time with people. You know what
Yes,
I mean? It does exactly that.
It's the social media goblin trying to pull you back in front of the screen.
I'll get you, my pretty. Exactly. Now I get it. I get it.
That's exactly what it is. James, I wish I was too busy partying in Mexico. I have been inside sitting on my keister for the better part of a year. So,
Yeah. But no, I appreciate you popping in, because you know that you're invited anytime. That's why I always toss it out there, and I'm never trying to make you feel bad. It's literally because I'm like, you're my buddy, and I would love to talk to you. So anytime that it works, absolutely.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And everybody, thank you. You guys you made my night. Seriously. So thank you.
Yeah. All right. See you later.
Cheers, everyone. Have a great night. Bye.
All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that time with Dee. Oh, I sure did. That was so nice. By the way, if, like I said, yes, follow me on the YouTubes and the Twitter and the Instagram and all the stuff and all the places that are like evil for you. Yes, I get it. But go follow Dee's last video and leave a nice comment, because I feel like we really need to get his feel good folder off to a really good start. So go over there, leave multiple comments if you want, but leave nice comments, even if you have to repeat the ones that you left here. Yes, absolutely. So let's see if there's anything left on these. There were a couple of post-its that I still had left. Folder for feel goods, manifestations, vision boarding, a gratitude journal. We talked about that. Writing down all the negatives and then basically your arguments to them. Let's see here. Is it time to pack it up or give it in? And so a last couple of things that you can do: batch filming, going live in, just like he stated. I had it here. It was my answer first. Actually getting to interact with you all is just, it's so like affirming. Pre-filming so that if it's a certain time when you know you're not going to be around, absolutely, that's something. Talking with your creator friends, just like that session with Dee, when you get to talk to creator friends and people going through the same things, yes, absolutely. If that includes going to a conference, whatever else it is absolutely amazing. So that is everything that is on all of the post-its. I want to thank all of you guys for being here. By the way, I'm supposed to do this in every single live stream. Let me make sure I do this. Thank you to all of my channel members. I love all of you guys. Thank you to the Platinum channel members. And that's TubeBuddy. You get an on-screen mention. If you want to join the group, you can certainly do that. There's a button down below that says join. You can learn all about it. I would love to have you. But I want to thank you for hanging out with me. It's been way longer than I thought. It's been like, what, like 3 hours? That's way too long. I am hungry. I'm going to go eat. It's been the longest day ever, and I'm about to go into a bubble bath later, and I cannot wait. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today on Triple T Thursday. Do not forget, if you want to go to PodFest, there's still free tickets. Go to shelly.fyi. You'll get the code for that. I'll see you on Sunday for a regular video. I'll see you on Tuesday for another episode of the Would You Buy That series. And then Thursday, before this live stream, there is the Clubhouse room for ladies of YouTube. And then we roll into this live stream. So thank you so much for hanging out with me, everyone. I appreciate your time. There was a lot of it tonight. You guys have a great night, and I will see you in a video very soon. Bye, everyone. Go to Dee's channel. Leave nice comments. Everyone, that's your homework. Go, do it.